Yo, 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 yo. Damas, Black Fist, Benjamin, Boss Page. What's going on, y'all? James, how are you? Yeah, hey, don't give yourself a hand too much. You're only on time because I am so late. I wasn't even sure that I was going to stream today, but I was like, you know what? Yes, I am. I'm going to go ahead and make this happen. I'm a little bit tired, so I don't know how long we'll go, but I want to at least make some progress. Okay, let's do the usual checks. Lights are on. Camera looks like that's on. Mic is definitely on as well. Chat's coming through, so YouTube should hopefully be running okay. What I have not done is actually spin up the game, so let me do that. Let me get this game up and running. Let's see, Boss Page. Watch that D&D vid you posted. Really eye-opening stuff. Thank you for the insight. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Matt. I really enjoyed creating that. I think that's actually going to be a regular thing for me. Different topics. Obviously, I'm not going to do the D&D stuff to death, but the idea of being able to connect with different people in that CRPG, TTRPG space and sit down and have conversations about topics that you all might be interested in, that actually really appeals to me. I didn't even really plan to make that video, to be honest with you, because you all remember I put out that community post about the D&D stuff, and then a bunch of people and when I put it out, I said I'm not gonna make a video about this, and then a bunch of you are like, actually, this has a lot to do with Pathfinder. I'd like to know more. You should make a video, blah 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 blah. And so then I was like, oh, okay, I should make a video, but hey, actually, I don't know anything about this, so I should connect with somebody probably. And then ended up connecting with Reinfeld, and it just worked out really well. I was surprised at how well it worked out, and I think I would really enjoy that. Seems Outcat lucked out moving away from Pathfinder from their next game. You know what? To be honest with you, one of the things I meant to mention during the video that I forgot to say is I'm actually wondering if they knew. If like industry insiders knew and it's just the rest of us who were caught off guard, because I know there are a lot of people who are like, why are you going to Warhammer to make your space game when Pazzo already has a Pathfinder module that's based out in space? Like, it didn't seem to make any sense. But with this, it absolutely makes sense. If you feel like Pazzo might end up getting wrapped into a bunch of lawsuits to try to figure out whether or not how much ownership they actually have over the Pathfinder franchise, you could sidestep all of that by just making another game that has nothing to do about their world, to diversify your portfolio. But I completely forgot. I meant to say that during the video, but I completely forgot about it. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've been thinking about. All good. I'm just farming Plasteel and Dark Tide anyway. That's awesome. Along with Disney, because of KOTOR, I doubt the OGL 1.1 will stick. Mm-hmm. Nice color short. Bulldogs, Hobbits. Nah, I just look good in red, James. I was running along the same lines. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, that's right. We're doing this again. So I screwed this up last time. I'm looking for Giacomo. Yeah. Yep. It's telling the truth. Yep. All right. Let's do this dialogue again. Let's give it another crack. Babat.
Zenza, we are honored by your presence, Captain. What brings you to this place?
So yeah, not tomorrow, but maybe the day after. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna put out a community message asking people like, hey, what are some other content creators that I should be connecting with, and what are some potential topics that you all would like to hear about? Like, I think um, a couple of people on the video I put up today mentioned that they would like to know about tabletop games that are alternatives to D&D, which I think is a fascinating question, and that's something I'd love to explore. But I don't know who's a good person to connect with to walk through that topic. So maybe that's one of the things that'll come out of the community post. But um, it's kind of ironic. I've been floating in my head the past couple of months about potentially doing like a podcast, and originally it was going to be about voice acting, But voice acting, it seems so. How do I put this? I just feel like voice actors just get disrespected all the time, right? Like I don't feel like the industry gets the level of respect that it should, and then that was the only thing that made me hesitate about doing a podcast about it because, I don't like putting myself in positions where I know I'm just not going to get the respect I feel like I would deserve, But I feel like that CRPG, TTRPG space is something I would probably have more fun with because it's more broad. I could do more things with it because I can still easily pull in voice actors in that same space, so we could talk about voice work on CRPGs. So, that just kind of fell into my lap, but it just feels good. I think that really works for me. I think that's something I'm definitely going to explore. Rodolfo, what's up? We could talk about tabletop. I got quite an experience. Really? Reach out to me, man. Yeah, you could leave me a DM on Twitter or on Discord. Either one. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm debating on making my own system, setting a lore with friends, because this whole situation has me not wanting to touch anything owned by Hasbro any more than I have to. That's the other thing. I feel like even though I don't really want to talk about the D&D situation specifically because I don't want to I hate seeing that, where I feel like they're talking about the same situation over and over again and kind of just farming views on it. But I think there are some perspectives or angles on this situation that on a general basis are interesting to my viewers. So one is the angle of what are some other tabletop RPGs that people can play as an alternative to D&D, from the standpoint of just being a player, right? Of just being someone who wants to play good games and for moral reasons doesn't want to support Wizards of the Coast right now, so they don't want to play D&D. The other angle is from the business standpoint, right? Those people who are actually creating games, creating systems, and were looking forward to being able to use this license as the foundation for what they were going to do. Now they might be potentially trying to shift and look at something else. What are some of the options they should be doing? So I feel like that's a separate conversation. And so, I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about the situation itself per se, but I want to talk about the different angles. I want to address what people are thinking about, the alternatives that they need, and see if maybe I can provide some information on it. Voice acting should be a valued industry. The voice of the character makes or breaks it. Yep, it should be, but it's not. I remember checking out some of the open source systems, such as the Power by the Apocalypse ones. I keep hearing about Power by the Apocalypse. What does that mean? Shall do on Discord tomorrow. Sounds good, Rodolfo. I'll definitely be looking for that message. I know my DM is, there are tons of systems I know there are long forgotten relics. Gonna have to find and revive them. Yep. Playing for a little over 2 decades now, but D&D was my first and always my favorite. Also Pathfinder, which is based on D&D 3.5. Yep, that's going to be part of that problem. I've always wondered how Pathfinder tabletop is. And World of Darkness. Yeah, I love Vampire the Masquerade. Love Vampire the Masquerade. And honestly, I would love to see that get a little bit of a revival. I'm not sure how popular it still is in tabletop form, but hopefully if it becomes even more popular there, we can finally get some good games in that setting, because I feel like since Bloodlines, we haven't really gotten one. And it's not like D&D in that bad games are made of it over and over again. I would even accept that, to be honest, because even though Swan Song wasn't great, just because it was in that world, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me do some of this game. We've come from the anime, so we said that. Let's get to very well.
If she ends the
Okay.
For that during the legacy.
Yep.
Answer simple enough.
Yes, I am pulling out my phone
We
because
ended
yes,
early.
I'm
That
going to
was bad
follow a
beyond
guide
measure.
because yes, I
When we
refuse.
didn't.
I refuse to screw
Same
this
thing.
up. It's a good thing. His only response is briskly make a small mark on his wax tablet. You notice Yakolo's eyes relax slightly at your answer.
you discover a powerful new technology.
I do.
But you are afraid some people may misuse it for
I am.
ill purposes. Would you destroy the technology? Regulate access to it? or make it available to everyone equally.
So Benjamin, the dice mechanics are not really the issue because you can't copyright math. So Wizards of the Coast can't say where you're using D20 rules, and so because of that, you're copying our system. So you need to give us money. What it's more so that they're the likeness and where they're. Especially if they're taking some of the direct lore, that's where Wizards of the Coast has a case, and where they can potentially say these people owe us money. Look, they have all the same spell names as us. They have all the same class names as us. Everything else that they're using is the foundation. But you cannot just take the math mechanics of D&D and say, well, nobody else can use that. You cannot copyright math. Make it available
Certainly
to everyone.
It should not be destroyed. It would only be a matter of time before someone else made the same discovery.
Make it available to everyone without restrictions. He nods. Giacomo gulps and coughs, looking nervously at the captain's wax tablet.
An enemy of yours is being persecuted. The grounds of the persecution are, by measure of your own compass, unfair. Would you allow the persecution to continue, or would you intervene to stop it?
Allow the persecution to continue. The corners of Giacomo's mouth creep into a weak smile and his body relaxes.
You learn that someone who does great good for many people is unintentionally going to do great harm to many people. The harm may not be great, or it may be so great that it dwarfs the good they have done.
GM, so other than the 40K systems, which I know by heart, I tend to favor systems where you can fudge the rules more easily. Play a table of an experiment with playing cards for the random number generation, but that wasn't terribly interesting in my
You
opinion.
have an opportunity to prevent this by killing them.
Yeah.
Do you do so?
Yeah, it's way too broad. I mean, it shouldn't hold up in court, but let's be honest. They have really, really high-priced lawyers who have already looked at this, and they've come to the conclusion that they can fight it in court. So, in my opinion, that means it's not something to be taken lightly. Not kill them.
Very well. Your path has led to this conclusion. We will release Giacomo and his research.
Thank you.
What was the point of taking him to begin with?
Giacomo has discovered a method by which one may
Right,
detect
we discovered that.
In the Deadfire archipelago, parents consider a godlike child to appearing mutilated at birth. Many godlike
Can't believe
stand
parents
killed
can you.
with the tacit approval of the tribe. Those who
That's
aren't
awful.
I agree, as does my crew.
Yep,
And
we know
after
that.
all this, you're going to let him go because of how the Watcher answered your stupid riddles?
Yes.
Feel free to elaborate.
Our group was conflicted, so I posed. While you may have deduced some hint of the content,
We read this yesterday.
after all, for us,
I have to say,
this
that's a
is a
poor way
matter
of
of
making a
life
life or
or
death
death.
decision.
there may be superior ways to debate this. Mestre Giacomo and his research are free to go. Now, if you will excuse us, we must prepare for our next voyage.
Palladino looks at you and shrugs. As you wish. Farewell.
Honestly do not know what those pirates would have done to Giacomo if we hadn't arrived. And now we have saved not only the man, but his research as well. Agressima, Watcher.
You're welcome.
Pallegina, is that you, my girl?
The old man's face widens into a broad smile as he holds out his arms and awkwardly gambols. Gambols? Toward Pallegina. Pallegina kneels down at Giacomo's approach and places her head against his chest, her arms around his thin frame. She closes her eyes and smiles as he holds her.
I thought those pirates would have been the end of me.
Not if I could do something about it. I owe you too much to let something happen to you over some nonsense.
A shadow of concern falls over the old man's face. His forehead grows thick with worried wrinkles, and he gently pulls Pallegina to her feet.
My girl, what that satyr said is not nonsense. He had good reason to be afraid.
He looks to you for confirmation. Of course, Animancy has too much dangerous potential to just let anyone research anything. There is a danger, yes. Animancers just need to be responsible.
Sadly, many are not. And as a group, we have no ability to monitor and reprimand those who act irresponsibly.
So, Damas, you prefer when classes aren't strictly defined. Are you talking, so, did you play Skyrim? Did you like Skyrim's system of pretty much giving you things to develop, but you didn't have strict classes you had to be in?
And you should not be expected to. Who would even be capable of doing such a thing?
Animancers should organize themselves to prevent their colleagues from getting out of hand.
How would that work? Would animancers submit to the authority of other animancers?
Perhaps. Old age has a few benefits, my girl. One is a measure of respect from your younger colleagues. If we attempted to guide them with a gentle hand, perhaps.
Giacomo strokes his chin and nods. Pallegina considers both your words and Giacomo's in turn. She nods her head and turns her attention away. You soon realize she is lost in thought. The moment passes quickly enough.
Well, it appears we are done here. We should see you back to Neketaka, Mestre Giacomo.
Before I go, I want you to have this, Aimoranet. An amulet of my own invention. It resonates with the godlike souls. Even severed, there is enough magic in your chime to activate its power.
He holds up a beautiful amulet on a slender chain. An oblong Adra stone gleams in its center. As he lowers it into Pallegina's hand, he cups his other hand around hers and gently squeezes. Yeah, that's probably my favorite aspect of the Elder Scrolls games. It's something I love too. I love the idea that, honestly, usually when I play role games, usually when I'm playing RPG type games, I prefer being the rogue. Because what I hate more than anything is running into a locked door or a locked chest that I can't open. So I loved in Skyrim, I could start out focusing on sneak and using my bow and, clubbing people from behind. But then over time, as you get into the magic school and you're able to enchant things, then focusing on magic. So I thought it was really cool, just the open way you could get into anything. And of course, by the time you get to level 80, you're a freaking god who could do whatever you want. I really, really enjoyed that overall system. Oh, what's going on, Anton? Glad you're able to make the stream. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm glad you've been enjoying the content. Pallegina smiles and nods to him before letting him go. There's sadness in her eyes, but she regains her composure quickly.
I appreciate all you have done, both of you.
He smiles, nods, and shuffles off toward the docks. Now, if her relationship isn't higher now, I'm gonna be so upset. Tell me something good, man. Okay, so we've got a 1 on her now. Ooh, Maya's already maxed out. That's nice. All right. So now Takehu is the main guy I'm worried about, because I'm down with Aloth, but oh wait. Introduce me to your handsome friend. Oh crap, he really hated it when I did that. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm not worried about Aloth. He'll come up, and Seraphim probably will too. But Takehu and Pallegina, those are the ones that I'm worried about the most. Oops, I didn't get the pig, and it's kind of weird they won't let me loot anything in here. You would think they would. Well, I guess you have to kill the people in there to do that. All right, fine. And then, so we went to the Balefire, we've been to Litter, so we haven't been to Radiant Court, and we haven't been to the King's Coffin. So let's go. Actually, we'll go here first. One matches me his fantasy fun. Just watch your video when Ren failed. Outcat chose the perfect time to get out of OGL-based computer games, didn't you? Yeah, we were literally just talking about that. I'm curious whether or not that's a coincidence, or if the industry insiders knew this was happening, and it's just regular citizens who didn't, and so they and so Owlcat decided, you know what? Let me get out while the getting's good, to ensure that I can that I'm creating games in a space where we can actually own it, as opposed to being caught up in a bunch of legal battles with Wizards of the Coast. I don't know what that was, but okay. I expecting things from this game. Eugenics wasn't one of the. What's going on, Moonlight? Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, though I'm personally saddened by it. Everything's a failure. Archetype is a cause. I'm looking more archetype than class. Mm-hmm.
What can I stock you up with today?
Show me what you have for sale. Food, 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 food. I don't think I need to buy food, so we're going to let that go. Who are you?
That was a disaster of epic proportions if ever I directed one.
Arms flailing wildly before, the stage performer shoots the other actors from the set.
A typhoon couldn't have cleared out our audience faster.
Who are you guys?
Oh, of course you haven't heard of us. Like I needed more proof that we're talentless hacks.
Damn! Her shoulders slump, but then she seems to regain herself, chin up as she answers you.
We're the Peg-Leg Performers. Formerly the Seabird Serenaders, formerly the Jax Finnegan First Ensemble of Dunnage. But now, well...
She tunnels her fingers through her hair, sighs.
My troop's coming apart at the seams. We're short on cash, we're low on people, and we've run plumb dry on enthusiasm.
She ticks the points on her fingers.
We haven't drawn a decent crowd in more than a fortnight.
Ooh.
And it ain't like pirates are hard to please. That's how you know the show really stinks. But I think I know what the problem is. We've got a lack of flair. If only I could hire more talented performers. I just know my play would take off.
What's your play about?
Only the biggest thing to hit the Deadfire since the Valian Trading Company started hunting us like sea hounds. I'm talking about Aethus storming through the archipelago and capsizing nearly a whole fleet of our ships.
What would you need to improve the play?
A better Aethus, for one. I'm the tallest one in our troop. I'm still not very convincing, even when I bother to dye my skin blue. Also, our special stage effects aren't all that special anymore. We had someone for that role, but she got herself into debt and has a new job at the King's Coffin.
I'll help you.
Really? Well, that's great. Then we could...
Abruptly, her eyes narrow, her dark brows furrowing with heavy suspicion.
Wait a tick. Why would you help me? What do you get out of this?
I don't see anyone else helping you, do you?
Right. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
If they had stuck with Pathfinder, they would have had to license from Paizo and Hasbro at the same time, which is doable. The Even Dead video game had to get licenses from 4 or more studios. Yeah, but it's different when the studios are all fighting each other. Like, if the OGL goes down the way the leak says, I seriously doubt Paizo's just going to be like, all right, Joe, I guess we got to fork over 25%. And we got to let them use CELA whenever they want to. Like, no, there's going to be a brawl. And who wants to have their game in the middle of a brawl? I mean, that's actually the exact situation they have with Kingmaker, right? They said they don't even own Kingmaker anymore. They don't get any more of the profits from that, which is why they're not updating it anymore. Why would you repeat that with another game?
I'm in desperate need of 2 more performers. A wizard for one, plus any oaf big enough to pose as Aethus. I happen to know a wizard of the finest skill set who already performs here in Dunnage, Diana at the King's Coffin. But unfortunately, I got no idea of where we might find a suitable Aethus.
Why do you feel like Paizo's screwed up the 2nd edition?
Get me the right people for the parts, and I promise you'll be pleased with your investment. I'll turn us a profit or die trying.
Dunno.
Careful of that
So
one.
you're the captain the old pork's been talking about. Aye, you do look like a fearsome sort. Welcome to Dunnage. What are you having? I'll pour you a double.
What do you know about the floating hangman? Her eyes go wide, and she fumbles a bottle of spirits, spilling rum all over the counter.
No one survives the floating hangman. Or so they say. It's the ship of the dead. You spy it on the horizon. You flee as fast as you can.
Threed, what's going on, man? How are you? Show me what you've got. Ba, ba, ba. She don't have anything special. Nope. Boom on. Ooh, stray cat.
Don't want to get on either's bad side then, eh?
Why? How am I supposed to get to that freaking cat?
That order's too tall.
There we go.
Looking for work. I've got coin and a few scores to settle.
Uh-oh.
You carry yourself like a person well acquainted with violence. Care to put your skills to use for a good cause? And some coin?
Oh, yeah, I feel like Pazzo messed up second edition, too. I like some of those archetype subclasses in first edition. There were a lot of things I liked in my brief time with Pathfinder second edition. I like how all the classes and racial abilities are broken down to modular feats, so you can easily mix and match. Have you read Pathfinder 2e at all? I have not. It's a mess. It's hard to explain with limited characters on the YouTube chat, but the mechanics are clunky and numbers feel bloated. Interesting. Michael, what's going on? Glad you're able to join the stream, man. I was wondering why Kingmaker seemed to be unchanged for so long. Yeah, it's still broken on consoles. There's a ton of people. If you go on those forums, whoo, they are heated. They are heated. Those people are not happy at all. But yeah, Outcat doesn't own it anymore, so they get no profits off of whatsoever. So on the one hand, you can say you put out a broken product, you really should fix it. But on the other hand, it's kind of understandable why you sinking a bunch of money, having a bunch of teams work on this when you know for a fact you are not going to get a return on your investment whatsoever. I love how the sorcerer became the universal spontaneous casting template for all the spell lists. It feels like the way the class always should have been. I do like the Inventor and Thaumaturge class from second edition. Interesting. I can't comment. I don't, since those weren't in the game. Yeah, it does, Michael. I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for them, especially the ones who I'm sure have a sour taste in their mouth regarding anything that has to do with Outcap. But you know, so, on the one hand, I absolutely can understand. On the other hand, I'm like, how can you expect a for-profit business to do things that are not for profit? She dances a coin across her knuckles, mirth a bright glint in her eyes. Tell me about the cause you mentioned.
It's simple enough. The firebrand commanded by Captain Henqua once plagued the Deadfire. The skill and brutality of Henqua's crew was the stuff of legends.
DeCiro flicks the coin she's holding and snatches it from the air with a grin. Up close is clearly a solar net.
But pirate legends don't live long. Some months ago, an alliance of Neketaka pirate hunters managed to corner the firebrand and sink her off the coast of Tikawara. They confirmed Captain Henqua's death, but her senior crew members escaped unscathed.
Flock, what up, Playboy? How are you, man? You think Rise is crazy high numbers? Which is fine, but it gets way too common, way too fast. Don't get me started on mages. Interesting. They made mages dirty. I'm hella mad at Outcat for Kingmaker. I lost $50 on the game that I literally can't play. $50. To someone like me, that's a lot. I completely understand. So is it flat out unplayable on console? I thought it was like buggy, but you can still get through it, which for a long time was the way Wrath of the Righteous was. Or do you consider it flat out unplayable?
And now it seems like bringing the firebrand's crew to justice doesn't matter to anyone but me.
Even in the low light, you can see a vein throbbing at her temple. Her voice drops to a low growl.
So I want you to kill them. And I'll pay you out of my own pocket if you do.
Sounds like you've got a grudge against the Firebrand's crew.
It's nothing personal. The crew earned their reputation through murder and thievery. And it would make me sick to see them regain an ounce of their power.
She tries for a nonchalant shrug, but it comes off looking like she's got a sore shoulder instead. As she speaks, Desario removes a small swillinette from her pocket and polishes the surface with a corner of her shirt. Her features soften like she's visiting an old memory. Then she stuffs the coin back in her pocket with a barely audible sigh. Part of the deal should have been to change the publisher. Yeah, it should have been, but it looks like it's not. Flat out unplayable, that's unfortunate. I can understand the frustration. Pazzo is great at making games that make me go, ooh, this does so many things better than D&D. Never playing it again. Ghost Stick, what's going on? How are you? It broke hard. Damn. That's rough. Sure, they lost their license, but they could have fixed it before they lost the license. Now, this is facts. This is absolutely facts. Kingmaker was released in a state where it shouldn't have been released. Honestly, you can argue the same thing about Wrath of the Righteous, but it's not nearly to the same degree. But Kingmaker most definitely released broken. You're not telling me everything.
You've a keen eye, my friend. I reserve a bit of the Firebrand story for myself, and you'll excuse me if I don't plan to share it. Let's keep business strictly business, huh?
I'll hunt down those pirates. Who am I looking for?
The Firebrand had a mascot. A useless little bastard who's taken to calling himself Lord Admiral Imp. He's not terribly dangerous on his own, but he's keen to make a nuisance of himself wherever he goes.
She rubs the bridge of her nose and sighs.
Last I heard, Lord Admiral Imp was making himself comfortable in Queen's Berth. You'll find him there with a few zarops and constructs, the little buggers convinced to follow him. Bless their simple hearts.
Who's next on your list?
You'll be taking down Lady Ipiro, Captain Henqua's former first mate and rumored lover. She's a cipher, and a dangerous one at that. Ipiro maintains an estate in Serpent's Crown in Neketaka. But I wouldn't recommend you rush in muzzles blasting and swords held high.
I think that's the chick with the dogs. She winks, all smiles. I'll be careful. Who else am I after?
You'll be going after Katren, the Firebrand's resident wizard. Rumor has it, she was once an apprentice to Arkemir before turning pirate. Last I heard, Katren and her sundry little minions could be found lazing about the sacred stair here in Neketaka at night. No idea where she disappears off to during the day.
Who's the last target?
I have a challenge for you, my friend. And his name is Torkar, leader of the Firebrand's boarding parties. He's an ogre, with a reputation for cleverness and cruelty both. I've even heard tell it was Torkar who was behind the Firebrand's most successful tactics, not Henqua. Torkar was last seen at Lifter's refuge here in Dunwich, dead set on joining a crew, or assembling his own. I trust you won't let that happen.
She cocks one dark eyebrow in question. Yeah, it's the Kingmaker video game license that is unfortunately they lost. I'm sure there's got to be a Pazzo issue, right? Not an Owlcat issue. So I'm sure they're they're very, very frustrated at the situation. All this drama shows how important it is for creative to be original. Exactly. Farewell.
Happy hunting.
She nods and gives you a showy wink. All right. More money to be made.
I'm telling you, ask for Ewina in the king's coffin. She'll make you see stars.
You half-masted.
The shelf contains current navigational charts and bestiaries about the various sea monsters a captain could encounter.
She's got to be 90 years old.
Whatever you need, I sell. What would you like to buy today?
You own these stalls?
I do now. I started out with only one stall and eventually branched out, buying out my competitors one by one.
Show me what you have for sale. Pale hide. Light armor. Shock armor. Freeze armor. 15% of incoming hits converted to grazes. Okay, but if we think this through. I keep. What is her armor? Oh, she's just got regular armor, so she doesn't have good light armor yet. And this armor is legendary, but it's also 26,000. Okay. I don't have anybody who needs an S-stock or battle axe. Okay, but I might go ahead and give her this pale armor at some point when I have more money. What is my stash looking like? I need to go through all of this. Okay, when we get back on the ship, I got to look at what everybody has and try to make sure that they're set up properly. If the labels on the bottles are to be believed, these concoctions cure everything from scurvy to death itself.
The Watcher
My.
is a regular ship hunter's ship hunter.
Aye, anyone who kills him.
The first thing you notice about this man is the nature of his attire. Loud and clashing reds and purples, bright as a peacock. On second glance, you see that he's tall and lanky, boyishly handsome in an unkempt way, with a trimmed beard and a friendly smile. He hums a little tune to himself as he watches the passers-by.
My good sir, hello.
He gives you frightfully cheerful wave and beckons you closer.
Whatever might I do for you?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm certain there's no need to tell you, observant as you no doubt are, that I am an actor.
Sure, but creating a new IP makes it harder to sell. D-Row, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream, huh? Makes it harder to sell than building off-known brands. It's always a risk either way. That's a fact. Pathfinder 1 came out. I just moved in town with the D&D encounters where I could walk into a game store on any given Wednesday and jump into a D&D game. So that's what I played. With 2E, my group tried it out, but most of us just didn't enjoy the rule set. And that's the crazy thing in everything that Wizard of the Coast is doing. Like, it seems like they've come to the conclusion that D&D is strong on its own, that it's the brand in and of itself that has made it so popular, when that's actually not the case. It's all of the, the comic book shops and the creators and the people who keep using your brand that have made it so strong. Like, D&D itself is not the end all be all. And if this leak ends up being, I think regardless of whether or not this leak ends up being correct, a lot of damage has been done to the Wizards of the Coast brand. But because no matter what, it's obvious that they're going to start doing some sort of royalty or revenue sharing process. So that alone is going to just piss off a ton of people. But I think they're in for a rude awakening. I think a whole lot of people are going to start saying, okay, you know what? What's out there other than D&D? And people are going to find out that some of these systems are actually superior to D&D in a lot of ways. And they would have never been exposed to it otherwise. But I think the flip side of that is that there are a lot of projects who expected to have the ease of using the OGL that now are not going to be able to, and they'll end up just folding. They won't see an alternative right here, right now, that allows them to do what they want to do, so they just won't come out. And that's definitely unfortunate. Equals framework, people mind like Skyrim, that's why it survives. Exactly. I actually don't like any other D&D systems much at all. I feel like a lot of people overrate it because they haven't been exposed to anything else. Like I mentioned in the video, I'm happy that in the last few years, we've seen more of these fantasy games that are based on systems that have nothing to do with D&D. You have Cyberpunk, which of course is based on the Cyberpunk tabletop. And then you also have the Pathfinder series now, which are both very great games and very different from the D&D games we've seen previously. Like, I want to see more variety, more diversity in the type of games and content that we're getting. And I feel like hopefully this is going to put us on that road. Critical Role could just use a homebrew and keep on trucking. See, I personally feel like we're about to get the situation that I think a lot of people are afraid of in that Critical Role getting their own special deal with Wizards of the Coast that doesn't apply to anybody else. Because Wizards of the Coast, they have to know. They can't just push Critical Role around. And at the same time, I don't think Critical Role is going to want to put in the type of investment necessary to create their own system, pull out everything D&D related, and almost start from scratch. So I think the easier thing to do is just to work things out with D&D, and I feel like that's probably what they're going to do, even if it ends up pissing off a bunch of people, because it's not. I don't feel like it's going to piss them off in a way where you're going to see thousands of people that just stop watching the show. Like, they'll be upset, but at the end of the day, Critical Role will be just fine. Do you think it's the shareholders pushing them? I mean, that's the way it always works, right? Like, the shareholders are the one who run everything. So I'm sure it's people at the top who want more money and think there's an opportunity to get more money by putting all these rules and regulations. If you don't really understand the industry and you don't really understand why you're successful, then it's easy for to look at all these people that are making money off of your name and believe that, hey, if I just put a bunch of rules on these people, I reap significantly more wealth. You don't necessarily realize you're shooting yourself in the foot unless you understand the industry. It's the same with like music. You'll see these artists who will come out in public and try to tear down people who are streaming their music. You know, like people will do live stream reactions of a person's song and talk about how good that song is. And you'll see these artists coming out talking about those streamers should be paying me money and blah, 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 blah. They don't realize that, no, if this person has your music out and he's reviewing your music, that is advertisement. That is someone who can say, hey, this is a quality song. You all should go out and buy this. They don't understand that, hey, this is another way to put money into your pocket. It's not taking money out of your pocket, but you have to understand the industry, understand marketing, and understand what's really bringing people your way and pointing eyes towards your content in order to get that. And if you're some 70-year-old guy at the top of the mountain getting a whole bunch of money who barely understands how your business functions, you just know when it's functioning, you're getting money from it, then it's easy for you to make decisions that end up actually harming your brand.
Stage, tavern, street corner, they are as much my home as where I lay my head at night. So
Kid, what's going on, man?
I travel Aora, looking for opportunities to share my gifts with the grateful masses, wherever that may lead me.
You make a lot of money doing that?
Oh, goodness, yes, loads of it. I've been known to joke that I'm less a man than I am a walking bank for all the coin that I carry. The common folk do so love an actor. We bring mystery and excitement to their otherwise dreary lives. Yes, you could say we're doing the God's work.
Insight. As he speaks, you notice that the toes of his soft boots are worn thin. A closer inspection reveals that his robes are unraveling at the hems and are well patched at the elbows too. See, Benjamin, I feel like, because Renfield said the same thing when we had the conversation. I feel like that's an easy way to think about it, though. Like, people say, well, hey, you should just do your own thing and then you reap all the profits. But the problem, I don't even think the problem is money. I think the problem is time. It takes time for you to build a whole system from the ground up that you feel like people are going to look at and say, this is just as good, just as solid, just as competent, and provides just as much opportunity for role playing and fun as the D&D system. That is not easy to do. Like, it might take them 1 to 2 years to do something like that. So if the license comes out in the way that the leak says it's going to, and then Wizard of the Coast is like, you owe us 25%, or they negotiate something less where they say you owe us 12% or something like that. If Critical Role says no, then they're potentially looking at what? A year, maybe 2, where they can't really do a full playthrough because they're busy trying to build something from the ground up that they feel comfortable with streaming. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to try to say to them. So I'm really not so confident that they would just take a lesser deal and say, all right, we'll take the 10% and just keep it moving. Insight. You're broke, aren't you?
How dare you? But you're not wrong, to my great chagrin. Times have been tough of late, what with the giant statues smashing up the place, and few in the Deadfire have coin to spare besides.
This is like the 5th time I've heard about Power by the Apocalypse. So is that a tabletop game? Like, what? Can someone explain what is that exactly?
It's quite
and what is
GURPS?
GURPS?
As I do. On occasion, foolish folk will take my act for reality. I've thrice been run out of a town for impersonating a foreign dignitary. Damn fools don't understand the blistering wit of my satire, I tell you. I had to learn to protect myself as a result, though I must admit, what martial skills I've got aren't of use for much more than fighting off wolves or throttling a thief with designs on my satchel. Thank the gods, I hardly ever need to use them. I could talk myself out of nearly anything, you know.
You sure can talk, I'll give you that.
Well, thank you. I must say it's gratifying to be recognized for one's talents.
It's a system. Generic universal role-playing system. Interesting. In my opinion, GURPS is awful. Though The Expanse was someone GURPS campaign initially, so I guess we got something out of it. Wait, The Expanse is in sci-fi TV show Expanse? That was originally a tabletop game? Agreed. Powered by the Apocalypse is great. Sadly, my group is too much on the D&D brain to play it properly. Used in Apocalypse World. Fallout was supposed to use this rule set. Interesting. Moonlight, I assume that was on your end. I haven't stopped, and I haven't heard anybody else say that they couldn't see me or anything like that.
All things being equal, I'd much rather recite a sonnet than swing an axe. But a man's got to make his way in the world any way he can.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your travels as a performer?
I would be honored. But a man needs to make a living, you know. So, for my services, how about 3,000 copper?
Enhanced bluff and streetwise. Here you are.
Fantastic. Let's get to it then.
His training is idiosyncratic. He starts by describing the character he'd like you to play. A street tough, an embittered sailor, a noble in the throes of a tantrum. Then he recites lines to you, asking that you recite them back in the attitude of your character. He then shows you how to use those characters to trick people into giving you what you want. When you show him you've got it, he gives you a wide smile and bids you farewell. You've learned Cole's training. Excellent. All right. Keep it moving. Nope, don't need that, apparently. I do need this. I do need that. Exceptional dagger.
My old captain was a drinker from the day he was born to the day he died.
You want a monster system? Look at Hero. The rule book is like an encyclopedia. I remember something awful being in this door. I might not be remembering that properly, though. PBTA functions on a system of classes called playbooks, where the players have abilities called moves that help sell the tropes of the character type you're playing. Interesting. So what do you like about it so much? This is all stealing. Oil paintings. Perfect for captains with drab cabins. Who is this?
Welcome to the treasure trove, sailor.
A strap. Is this a chick I'm supposed to kill? A strapping godlike blinks between the swollen, crusty tumors lining her eyes. Her lips crack, weeping a sappy substance as she speaks.
Anything in my trove catches your eye, you let me know. All right.
Show me what you have for sale. Sun and Moon. I seem to remember I used to give this to Palagina, a legendary flail. That's interesting. This is a one-handed rapier. Grants death denied. Wears immune to constitution afflictions while they carry one or more injuries. Oh, that's not particularly useful. 10% chance to reflect against spells. +5 deflection against ranged weapons and +2 stealth. Ooh, that's worth having. Actually, I'll go ahead and, it's only 8,000. I'll go ahead and get this. Negative 25% raw damage taken. Nah. Damage is too varied for me to go for one particular type. Torque of intellect. +1 intellect. +2 deflection. Cloak of protection. Iridescent scale. +10 all defenses. Conjures greater blight. No, none of us use medium armor. What is she using right now? So she's got medium armor, which is part of the she's got medium armor, and that's part of the reason she keeps getting messed up in combat, right? But I don't want her wearing all the way heavy because I want her focused on casting spells. Sun and Moon is pretty powerful. Used it on my druid. Interesting. Is an open source narrative RPG system. More Disco Elysium than Pillars of Eternity. Oh, that makes it make sense for me. Okay, interesting. It's a good feature. To make it into games before. Also gives you something to spend your obscene wealth on. There's even a PWTA called Dungeon World, where the mechanics lampshade the tropes of D&D in its various classes. Interesting. Abandonment, what's going on, man? How are you? Very, very interesting. Grants fireballs, but it's based on charges, so that's useless. Iridescent scale. That's something I'm definitely interested in. And sun and moon. I'll have to come back for that when I have more money. You have a oh, yeah, actually, we'll go ahead and do that one, though. You are truly a shark among pirates. Despite appearances, these sacks of luminous Adra contain only brightly colored sand. I thought... Lady Apiro. Okay, so she's not one of the people I'm supposed to kill. All right.
I'm in the lantern.
I am ready.
Yeah?
Boom, boom, boom. Come on.
Yes?
Actually, here.
I know.
Really? She comes all the way down here sometimes?
It's done.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll go all the way up here. Okay, that's done. All right, now.
Not a problem, Captain.
I wonder what game designers will do if OGL actually becomes a thing. We're going to see. What's going on, Shadow Wisdom? Glad you're able to join the stream. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that will work out. Doing all right, but keeping up with the whole OGL nonsense and getting into debates about prostitution on Twitter. Wow, that's an interesting combination. Nothing. 40K orcs have an aura around them that makes everything they believe true. They believe red moves fast, so they paint their vehicles red, and it works. Wow, that's pretty cool. Oh, God, dog it, really? She should be. Why is she not in? She's in. You, come up here.
Indeed.
You. You are the one with stealth. There we go. Thank you. All right, first we need to do that one. Yeah, I think the way the industry is impacted by the OGL change will be fascinating to see. Because honestly, it's my hope that ooh, we got that armor for free. Well, isn't that nice? Wasn't expecting that. And there's another lockbox there. So I didn't even I think I did read that. I think I mentioned in the video that it's my hope that this actually improves the industry, that we get a lot more variety and a lot more creativity than we have previously. So I feel like there's still a lot of reason to hope for that. Look, man, I've been a supporter of sex workers growing up. My caretaker sister working a brothel, and I love that woman. So I absolutely understand. I absolutely understand. I've never had women that I know of in my family be sex workers, but I've definitely had friendships with them. Like when you live in the hood, you meet all kind of people who are doing whatever they can to survive.
You can't have children. But would you have wanted them?
It is because I cannot give my country children that I give them so much of the life I have.
When I was younger, I took it for granted I'd have them one day. Free labor. A lot of time passed before I knew it. Hardly gave it a thought until now.
You are not getting any younger. I know you do not like thinking, Adair, but maybe it's time to start.
Damn. Ooh, Palagina always cut it to the heart of things. He's like, so I would be ashamed if it leads to them not making games like this anymore. Nah, I definitely wouldn't do that, because honestly, the whole reason they did Pillars of Eternity that way is to ensure that it had original systems. Like, Pillars of Eternity is completely separate from D&D. Wizards of the Coast can't do anything to Obsidian about that. So, if anything, this is going to push the industry towards more games like that. built from the ground up on completely unique systems. So we would hopefully get more Pillars of Eternity, more Disco Elysium, more Pathfinder, more games that have nothing to do with D&D and the systems they've created. To me, that's a good thing. I would definitely look forward to seeing what the industry would look like as that. Here. The wall is notched and scarred from countless knife throws that completely missed the target. You find a lanky blonde elf flipping through a book of Adirian poetry by the artist Skilba. His armor is well worn and well kept and bears on its breast the image of a double-headed eagle holding a sword and crown. Looking more closely, you notice that his free hand he's picking a padlock.
Hello. May I help you?
He catches you looking and gives you a shy smile.
Need anything?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm not sure what there is to tell. I'm a man of adventure, mostly.
Usually makes the imaginary friend physically manifest and protect you. That's interesting. One of my favorite PvTA games is Mask. It's a Teen Titans Young Justice style superhero coming of age game. It's all about character arcs and a character's ability changes, their values change. You know, I'm usually not a fan of properties that are all about children, but I really enjoyed Young Justice. That was an extremely well-written, well-animated series. And playing a video game that is anywhere close to that type of quality sounds like something that would be right up my alley. Have you had any that would make a good story?
A few. More than I could share in a night, to be sure. There is one that's close to my heart. It led me to my love.
Go on. He nods, pleased.
I was on an expedition into the backwoods of Red Seras when I came across an abandoned town. To my great surprise, I found a tremendous hoard of books in the town priest's cottage.
In my mind, 2E is in trouble as well because, again, like you already mentioned, 1E is based on a license. So Wizards of the Coast is probably going to say, hey, the whole shebang is really based off our work. They owe us 25%. And by the way, all these original characters that they've made, like Sela and, what was it, Amiria and Kingmaker, yeah, we should be able to use those characters if we so please. That's what I think is going to be really crazy. Like, if Wizards of the Coast is able to actually do this successfully and uphold it, they can have Sela and Minx saving Baldur's Gate together and not pay Pazzo a dime. That would be wild. Wild. Young Justice and the original Teen Titans were both spectacular. It's not a video game, Slandered. It's a tabletop RPG. No, I'm just saying that to see more things spun off into video games. Like, a lot of these things started as tabletop RPGs, and then video games were created from them. So that's what I was saying. I hope that is the case, and they'll be more creative, and we can experience a whole different side of these type of games. I'm all about more creativity. It seems like we get the same thing spun over and over and over again. So anything that brings more creativity and diversity and the type of games that we get, I'm all for it. Like, Disco Elysium was a type of game I had never experienced before. And as many gaming experiences like that as I can have, I'll appreciate it. Rob, thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate it. Do you think the future DLCs coming out for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous will be affected by the Wizards of the Coast power play? Nope. I seriously doubt it, because Outcat's basically gonna, I would assume they would take the standpoint of Pazzo is gonna work that out. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We don't have to, I doubt they have to put any money towards a lawsuit. I doubt they at all have the power to fight something like this. This is a Pazzo issue. So Outcat is going to keep their head down, keep doing what they've been doing, and let the chips fall where they may. They've already promised customers that this DLC is going to come out. So if they took that back and decided to stop making DLC, that means for both Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, they broke their promises about the support for those games. There's no way they tarnished their reputation like that with customers before coming out with Rogue Trader. It just wouldn't make any good business sense at all. Ha! Don't make me want to see La Minx crossover. 3DT is a system that uses only a 6-sided die, and it's very freaking simple, geared towards making anime scenes real. Sadly, it's only in Portuguese. Interesting. This is, you can't copyright mechanics. Pathfinder is probably fine because of how intellectually distant from the traditional settings of Wizard of the Coast they get. The problem with Pathfinder is a lot of their other things are based on D&D. Like if you look at their spell list, their races, things of that nature, that's all D&D. And so I don't know if that's enough for Wizards of the Coast to be able to say, well, it's really our stuff, but it's definitely a conversation at the very least. Plus, I mean, let's just be honest. Everybody knows that Pathfinder was created based off of D&D. So, you know, I am certain they'll have a multitude of examples of people in the general public saying exactly that. They'll probably be able to get examples of people in Pazzo saying exactly that. So I think it's that if the license come out in the way that it was leaked, this is going to be a tough fight for Pazzo. For other people, less so. But for Pazzo, it is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. What's surprising about that?
The Red Serans are conservative folk, more so even than the Adirans. They don't have much use for reading that doesn't come from one of the holy texts of the Church of Aethys. And what a selection of books it was. Every subject represented, even some questionable ones. I couldn't help but help myself to them. I took as many as I could carry, and I can carry quite a bit. Read them all cover to cover and learned a lot too. I tired soon of wandering. So I settled in a small town in the Deerwood and became a tutor for a noble family. Fell in love with the governess, naturally, and I stayed. For a while.
Then what?
Well...
He rubs at the back of his neck and looks away a moment.
I felt a stirring in my bones one day. I can't explain it. I just woke up, caught sight of the horizon, and had to go. I left my lady wife right there in our marital bed.
He sighs deeply. A look of longing flits across his face, but he stifles it with a quick frown.
I don't know what's waiting for me out here in the Deadfire. But I have hope this will be my biggest adventure yet.
Tell me about you. No. Can you teach me what you've learned in your travels?
Well, you listened to my long tale. I suppose you are owed a trick or two. For the low price of 3,000 copper.
Explosives? Yeah, 3,000 copper. Here you are.
Much obliged.
He digs through his pack and pulls out several locks he's found in his travels. He proceeds to put you through your paces, timing how quickly you complete each lock, then demanding that you do it again and faster still. Satisfied, you've become a deft hand. He shows you how to build a small explosive with black powder, parchment, and twine. Once you've demonstrated you can create the explosive without getting yourself or anyone else blown up, he wishes you good luck and tells you to get going. Rob, thanks again for the $5, man. Here's another 5 in case one of the coach wants that 25% from you at some point. You know, it was interesting in that video with Renfail, when he brought up the idea of Wizards of the Coast going after YouTubers, and he was like, you know, or Twitch streamers, and like, hey, they might be going after, you know, bits and donations and things of that nature. I was like, oh my God. I hadn't even considered it. But yeah, what if they don't just go after Pathfinder, but they go after people who have other people who have made content about Pathfinder? That would be just wild, just absolutely crazy. I can't imagine. Even if this comes out in the exact way the license reads, I just can't imagine they want to go down the rabbit hole like that. That would be insane. The leak of LGL has just made the community angry, and now it'll be hard to win back any trust from creators. It absolutely will be. It's absolutely damaged trust. And the fact that they keep doing these takedowns makes people feel like it's true.
If you're enjoying my performance, tips are welcome but not required. Thank you, loyal patron.
There are a couple of people who commented on my video, and they're like, you're calling this an update, but it's not an update. It's just a leak. And this leak could be completely false. And I read the document, I don't believe it, and things of that nature, right? And I'm like, and being objective, you're right. Could be. Could be the document's completely false. Could be that this is just a leak, and what D&D comes out, or whether Wizards of the Coast comes out with, is completely different. But the problem is they're not saying anything, and at the same time, they're doing takedowns for anybody who's talking about the leak, which to me is a giant red flag. Yo, this leak is legitimate, and they don't want to have to deal with the public outcry so soon. So the damage now has already been done, and I think it's right that it's been done. Like, it just is what it is. Dagon, what's going on, man? How are you? Voice monotone. The wizard examines her nails as she speaks. A hand on her hip. She cocks her head as she waits for you to speak. How did you end up among these pirates?
I was playing dice and gambled on a sure thing. It turned out not to be such a sure thing, and now Harker owns my arse until I can pay off the debt.
She grunts.
Of course, I started off owing him 250, and even though I've paid that twice, now I'm in the hole for 700. The interest rate, this uniform, my food and drinks, they all got added onto my tab at the end of the day.
Doesn't look like you're enjoying yourself.
I work for a handful of pyres per day. How could I find enjoyment in that?
Calandra needs you for her play.
I'd be happy to go back working for her, except I owe Harker over there a good deal of money.
She jerks her head toward the far end of the bar.
Stupid dice went cold at the wrong time. Until I pay him what I owe, 700 pyres, I'm not going anywhere.
Is there anything else I can do to get you out?
Talk it over with Harker. Maybe you'll be feeling generous.
She snorts as if she's made a joke.
A more likely possibility is he'll try and put a knife between your ribs. Assuming he doesn't, or you survive it, you ought to know he hides his money in his private quarters. Would be a shame if someone stole it.
What can you tell me about Harker?
You haven't heard the rumors, I take it?
Her voice drops to a raspy whisper.
Some people say he's the Red King.
The who now?
Come on now, you're pulling my leg. The Red King was a pirate with a grudge against the Valian Republics. Supposed to have died years ago.
Her eyes gleam with excitement as she tells the tale.
But some folks say he faked his death to escape the wrath of the Valian Republics.
The elf leans closer, conspiratorially, to murmur near your ear.
Those same folks say that Harker was the Red King.
Licking the corner of her mouth, she straightens. She smooths her hair with trembling fingers. I used to really like Wizards of the Coast. I played and I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. Well, at least once in my life, so I can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Do a lot of women play Magic the Gathering? Is that a thing? Turner owns her store to the owns her sold to the company store. What is so bad about Hasbro? You know, even though I played games for a long time, I've never actually paid attention to the industry, to be honest with you. So I haven't paid attention to like how these companies move and what their histories are. I've seen a lot of people speak poorly about Hasbro. What have they done to piss off so many people? And I mean, Pokemon is a nonsensical labyrinth of which I can't hope to begin to comprehend. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a the only rule there for your rule pet. Let's see. What?
I wouldn't go on asking him about it, if you know what I mean. Harker's got a nasty reputation, a real violent disposition, and besides, people in this port generally don't like others prying into their past.
Farewell. Okay.
Kill him, wait
Well,
an hour, then pull any gold teeth. Easy as pie.
You're an idiot. Wait a minute, wait an hour. Alive, Dad. It makes no difference at all.
I've pulled plenty of gold teeth. I know the right way of it.
Maybe I'll pull your teeth just to prove you wrong.
Woo!
What do you know? It really does make no difference. You, out.
Well, these things happen.
Well, damn. Alrighty then. As a woman who plays Magic the Gathering, not a whole lot of us there, but absolutely none of us play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's hilarious. You know, when I was doing my cleaning at the end of the year, I came across my old Magic the Gathering cards and some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I used to play with the fellas. I gave them all to my daughter because I was like, even if I get back into Magic the Gathering, I'll probably end up buying all new cards. Like the cards I had back in the early 2000s, they probably aren't even considered legitimate anymore. But it was just interesting to be reminded of those times, and it made me wonder, is Magic the Gathering even still popular? Hello from Singapore. Yo, Nico, glad you're able to join the stream. Glad you're enjoying the content as well, man. Welcome. Still leans heavily male, but there were plenty of women regularly attending events in my community. Interesting. Not a particularly large amount of women play Magic the Gathering, far more than Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, so in comparison, yes. But it's more the fact that everyone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Hasn't seen the sun since 1654. Or they're losing a lot of money on Magic the Gathering right now, too. Yeah, I heard that they did something to kind of ruin it, right?
Still as a pond.
Let's see.
Let's go.
Oh, there's no sinking, huh? Oh, wait. Oh, is this personal thing up here? Where's Cabin Boy? So where's this personal quarters? Is that it? Let's see. Arwina. The blanket is stale with what you hope is dried ale. It's not. Who's the cabin boy? A young man dressed in skin-tight leathers gives you a quick once-over. Oh, they're pros. He must like what he sees because he smiles wide, his lips just parted. There was even a lesbian couple who played together. They thought my friend and I were gay because we had a shared collection just like them. You got to look around that collection you gave your daughter. You might have some gems in there, things that are worth like a couple $100s. How would you even know by looking at them what they're worth? Especially since I didn't keep them in little compartments or whatever. So anyone who looks at them probably going to be like, well, they're worn. You know, they're not. It's not like it's in mint condition. They always saturated the market during COVID with Magic the Gathering cards, which made them a ton of money, but it's hurting them bad at the moment. I saw an article about something like their stock went down or something like that. Or no, like there was some sort of major bank analyst who basically said exactly what you said. They oversaturated it. And so, yeah, they made extra money, but they made that extra money by pretty much breaking their biggest supporters. And so that's not considered a strategy that has long-term success, and they're going to just go down, 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 down. Magic the Gathering is apparently re-releasing the alpha set for thousands of dollars. Hasbro makes children's toys by using underpaid, overworked, unsafe labor. Not that it isn't common in other companies, but that is the kind of company we are dealing with. Facts. What do you do here?
I surprise and delight the clientele.
He winks.
My speciality is oils. Full body rub-downs, right? Fit to leave you limber, clear-headed, and free of the stresses of hard living. I got other skills, of course, should you be looking. And all for a measly 200 piles.
Farewell. All right, I see things to steal. Is there a spot we can go to? Here we go. That looks like an opening, but it won't let us actually enter there, so I guess not. Oh, this requires mechanics. That does not. So hold on. You can go through mechanics without triggering anything, right? Yep, that's good. That's good. Okay, cool. And now,
Your orders.
Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, this must be his room. Nothing worth getting hung up on over there.
My, aren't you a handsome one?
Why they make her left eye look that way? That is rough. It's worse than that. The reprint of Alpha has special card backs and frames, making them illegal in tournaments. You are paying $1,000 for 60 randomly assorted proxies. It's just chaotic stupid. There's the fun kind of chaotic stupid, i.e. my werewolf from that game I used to talk about. And then there's Hasbro chaotic stupid. Hasbrotic stupid. I work at a comic shop, and I've been pricing Magic the Gathering cards. A lot of newer rare cards and even rare foil cards are worth no more than 35 cents. Yeah, I don't buy every set from Magic the Gathering anymore, just the ones that get my attention, like Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt. Interesting. An older woman looks you up and down and smiles, revealing several gold teeth.
Did you need help with something, my dear?
I even prefer older women, but that portrait, not appetizing. What do you do here?
Isn't it obvious? I entertain, of course.
She does a little shimmy and breaks off with a laugh.
It'll cost you 50 pyres, naturally. And don't let the wrinkles fool you. I'm still young at heart, and I've got more experience than most.
She chuckles. So he's 200, she's 50? Damn. Though slightly frayed around the edges, the sailcloth has been carefully cleaned and maintained. All right. At the bar, you find a tall man with salt gray hair and strikingly bright blue eyes. His face sports a handful of long scars that continue down his neck and disappear beneath the collar of his shirt. He looks up from wiping down the counter when you approach and gives you a broad, disarming smile.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffee.
There's plenty of websites for check-in Magic the Gathering card prices, or you could take them to a store. That's a good point. I wouldn't give Wizard any credit. They have been doing comically dumb stuff, and I don't think you can blame all of it on Hasbro. Probably still play Magic the Gathering, but I'm not going to buy anything for Hasbro for a long time. Okay. Brett says, what's going on? How are you? Hey, Slandered over here getting women left and right. Watch it. Yeah, the old 50 Cent was, man, oh man. Maya has competition. Nah. She's still the love for this playthrough. Catering to people that don't play D&D would be number one. But some of the stuff that came out of Wizards have been offensive to me, so I might be salty. In what way do you feel like they're catering to people who don't play D&D? Awaken, what's going on, man? How are you? People that don't play this stuff. I do prefer older women. When I say that, I mean late 30s, early 40s, maybe 50s. Not old enough to see Jesus on the cross. Exactly. Exactly.
What can I do for you?
Streetwise, I've heard rumors you're the Red King, the infamous pirate.
Infamous to his enemies, famous to his friends.
He narrows his eyes and sizes you up before saying more.
Folks decided to call me the Red King. I had nothing to do with that. But I didn't tell them to stop neither.
He grins.
See, the Valian republics drove my Dar out of business, and I repaid them in kind by taking their ships and their treasure. A whole lot. Got right tired of ship hunters crawling up my arse every time I went out to sea. So I paid off my crew, scuttled this ship here, went my merry way. In other words, the Red King is dead. If you ask me any more about it, you will be too.
Damn. I like that fire godlike from the island. The island with the queen. Oh, yeah. I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah. And you're partially right there, guy. Most of us can't even breathe without saying something cool. She's not a cougar. She's a three-legged alley cat who has a missing fur. I'm not so sure, boo. Like, women age like wine, so maybe the Jesus lady is very, very good. It depends. You know what they say, black don't crack. You wanted to buy? I wanted to buy something.
What do you want?
Show me your stock of
So long as
provisions.
you show me some coin.
Do you have anything interesting here? Probably not. Nope. Oh, you know what? I should go ahead and take a rest here, though. Here, to get rid of some of those ailments I've been experiencing. There we go. All right. Now, where are you?
What can I do for you?
Tavern looks a lot like an old ship.
Figured that out all on your own, did you?
He winks.
You're right, though. Inherited an old Dow from my Dar when he passed.
Straight.
Right piece of shit it was, too. Realised I was bound to make more coin turning her into a tavern than letting her rot in her berth.
They like to bend the knee to a lot of academics, and that Twitter crowd that came in when Stranger Things was popular which leads to statements that the nerd game that got you beaten up for playing has a bunch of toxic gatekeeping in it. You know, I wasn't digging the D&D when Stranger Things first came out, so unfortunately I missed the boat on that. I'm sure that was a delightful time, though. Or it makes you really want a Skulls and Shackles Pathfinder game, honestly. Is Skulls and Shackles supposed to be the pirate version of Pathfinder? I just want a new Pathfinder module, period. Like, I understand Alcad need to do other things. There's a bunch of different companies that do D&D games. I feel like Pazzo needs to put in some work and have some other companies do some Pathfinder games that are in different modules. Like if the Shadowrun guys, if it turns out they're not doing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, I feel like Pazzo should be like, hey, why don't y'all do something here? Like, put some effort into it. I think that catering to people that don't play the game is the ones that call orcs black people. They called a different race Native Americans, which I find highly offensive as a Native American. Yeah, you don't mix and match like that. Unless there's something about that race where you feel like the people who developed it purposefully gave this race characteristics to try to make them a caricature of other people. Like, me personally, when I watch the Harry Potter movies and I see the goblins, I don't think of Jewish people. But it's definitely something I've been seeing brought up several times. And so I don't know if I've come to the conclusion that maybe that's just my own, like, blind spot, because maybe I'm not as sensitive to disrespect towards that group as other people would be, because I can see how you can get there, but I don't necessarily make that connection. You know, it's weird. It's weird. We aren't fictional races. Exactly. Honestly, I've never been bullied either for playing D&D or anything else, though. To be fair, I didn't have any friends until I was like 15, and my first femme was my girlfriend. And I never felt like I was bullied for being a nerd, but I did feel like I was definitely looked at as different. And I've never had a situation where I felt like I was rejected for being a nerd, but there were definitely situations like women who I liked that I didn't really approach because I felt like I'm a nerd. She's not really going to be interested. Especially being a black man, I feel like it's a little bit different. Black women, most especially, when I was coming up, if you said that, hey, I love playing video games and I love comic books, huge turnoff to the majority of black women from, my time. I think it's different now. Coming up, I think being a nerd in general is much more accepted. But back then, yeah, it was something where I kind of kept it to myself. I always portray orcs as more Native American spiritualists. However, I get the whole orcs and black people comparison simply because the age-old stereotypes match up. It's a you thing, not a common person thing. Regular people don't compare orcs to Native Americans. Exactly. I'm as white as the moon, hence the name, so I don't get involved in this debate. Just listen. It's all good. Oh, yeah, 700 copper. I want to pay out Tiana's debt.
Got to you, did she? The woman can spot a soft-hearted mark from 50 paces. Like a sixth sense or something.
He nods to you conspiratorially, as if he didn't just imply you were a sucker easily parted from your money.
Here's the thing, though. It's more profitable for me to keep her under my thumb. So, sweet as your offer is, you can keep the money. Unless there's something else you need, I think we're done here.
He turns away and begins fiddling with something beneath the bar. As he does, you spy a red-handled pistol stuffed into the band of his breeches. Intimidate. How many coins do you think I could fit in your mouth until you choke to death on them? Damn!
I haven't met someone brave enough to step me in off. It's got to be 2 weeks now. And that guy ended up shot full of holes. Right tragic accident it was. You've got guts. I'll give you that. Maybe you're not so easy a mark after all.
He throws his head back and laughs.
Tierna's free to go.
Nice. But I was on because I didn't have time for it. I was either playing and learning an instrument or reading books. Now, there was definitely that, but I was always in the top 4 for grades, so people didn't want to reject me because they wanted my help. I was homeschooled, so I was rarely in a situation where people wanted my direct help with grades. But to make extra money while I was in college, I used to write up people's papers because my father taught me how to type. He made sure that I was a good typer, so that used to be a really nice and easy way. Like, people would have like these 10, 15-page papers. I could type it up in 10, 15 minutes worth of work, get $50 for it. It was nice. The booth is cozy and quiet, perfect for discreet dealings. Hunched on his hands and knees, quivering and drenched in sweat, the pirate lets out a pain-filled groan.
Lost my God's damn soul in stupidity. Aldred, save me now.
So always been the most beautiful person on this earth. So making friends was never particularly difficult. I'm just swimming in my pretty privilege. That's awesome. There's a one-on-one thing with fantasy racism, real racism. But if you make it close enough for even some people to make a connection, you could create an in-world for the worst sorts to join your community. Like, I think I take it based on the situation. Like, it's all different. I can't speak on the orcs, like when Warhammer came out. But I remember when the first trailer for Cyberpunk came out, and whatever that street gang was, the ones with the huge muscles that were taking all sorts of drugs, people made the claim that it was racist as hell because I think most of them were black, right? And so they were saying you're basically going to portray all the black people in your game as these juiced up thugs who are basically monsters that need to be shot down. And there was this whole swarm of people who were like, why does everything have to be about racism? Would you rather them have no black people in the game? Blah, 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 blah. And on the one hand, I understood that. But on the other hand, I was like, I'm looking at CD Projekt Red's history. They already had 3 games where they basically pretended black people didn't exist, except for the one black person who was the villain that you had to kill before the end of the game. So I'm like, if you do that, you can't expect all of a sudden to get the benefit of the doubt when you're making your 4th game. Like, you need to show, hey, I could do these things a certain way. And even after playing the game, I'm like, yes, there are a bunch of different examples of black people throughout the game. So it's not like you made them all mutant thugs, right? But I also recognize that they were never black people at the top echelons of power. Like that corporate group, it was all either white or Asian, which is pretty typical stereotypes. So I feel like with each situation, you kind of have to take it separately and look at all the people involved to decide whether or not I really want to consider this racism. Not just look at how a character is made and say, oh, well, that looks like such and such a race, so that's automatically racist. That's not going to work. My favorite intimidation video is the Witcher 3, where the intimidation option is literally breaking a dude's leg. What's wrong with you?
My ship was attacked and boarded by pirate hunters. Didn't know if we'd be able to get away, so I swallowed down my most valuable possession, Ngati's black tear, gemstone, about the size of my fist. Of course now it ain't coming out of either end. Been trying all manner of foul concoctions to no effect on account of my stomach being too strong. Years of sailing the storm-racked seas will do that to you. Started feeling an intense pain 2 days ago. I think I might be dying. I can't even crawl no more.
Thing is, I have African friends. Orcs are nowhere close to African culture or Native American culture. Yeah, I can't speak on that particular situation since I haven't seen them, and I haven't seen any other reasons for why people feel that way. But I definitely agree that some of those people who speak up and say this is racism, this needs to stop, this is wrong, some of them are definitely speaking from a standpoint of racism and trying to relate things to black people or minorities or make connections that don't really need to be made and don't really serve the people that you're claiming to protect. That's why, again, I say every situation is different. It's about being close to your real culture. It's about being close to the stereotypes that races hold towards you. That's true, but I say again, every situation is different. Like, sometimes you can look at something and say, that looks off, this is problematic. But other times, I've definitely looked at situations that felt like people were trying to connect the dots that me as a black person, I would never connect. And then there have been other times where you flat out feel insulted that people would connect certain dots and say, and I would come from the standpoint of, really, this has nothing to do with me. The thing is, it doesn't really matter if they line up culturally with actual cultures. It's more about the stereotypical depictions. Yeah, same deal. Plus, Witcher is basically fantasy Polish, and that's a book thing with how diversity and geography worked in the world. Like how many white Valians are in this game. That's a fact. But here's the problem with Witcher. Then cool, don't have black people in it at all. But in the first game, I don't remember the second game that well. I don't think there were really any black people in the second game. But in the first game, you had virtually no black people except the one black person who was in the game who was a villain. Or at least he was portrayed as extremely dark. He might have been Indian or something like that. But basically, you have one non-white person, and he's this evil, terrible person that everybody should be fighting against. Also, let's be honest, all throughout the game, you're hearing about this evil, terrible group that is slowly going to come from the north and destroy everything and tear apart everybody. And what are they referred to as? The black ones. Like this stuff, like if you take all of it separately, then fine. But when you put it all together, it doesn't come off as well. And so then when you make that fourth game, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. Because people are like, I can look at your past three games and say, I don't really feel good about the way you've treated this culture. Somebody else mentioned that Cyberpunk is made by a black guy, which is true, which is fantastic, and they work with that person, and it seems like CD Projekt Red has a much better relationship with that guy than they've had with the guy who wrote the Witcher books, which is something that I definitely appreciated. Like, he was in the marketing materials for the game, so they absolutely gave him his respect, and I appreciate that. But that doesn't automatically mean that, hey, your depictions in the video game, well, they couldn't possibly be racist because the tabletop game that it's based off of was made by a black guy. I don't make that connection at all. Like, you can absolutely put out a racist depiction of something that is based on what a black person's created. That's what the half of the hip hop industry is all about. It's these rappers coming out with the most racist, stereotypical depictions of black people. And just because they themselves are black does not make it any more stereotypical or damaging to our community. What can I do to... Oh, that's right. This is the dude who swallowed the gem, right? What if I just punch you really hard in the stomach? That might get it out.
I think I tried. My stomach's all black and bruised, but a blasted gem's still stuck up me.
Wow. What can I do to help?
Make me puke. Whatever you gotta do, just make it happen before this cursed gem kills me. Give me something strong enough to upset even my iron gut. Rosanella's got a stand in a Radiant Court. She's been supplying me with some experimental concoctions, tweaking them after. Tell her the last one actually came close to working.
People act like things exist in a vacuum, but they forget that the games were made by people, and their real-world bias will definitely affect how the game looks. Exactly. To be frank, the black ones in Nilfgaard as a whole are more akin to the Imperials, France, England, in a portrayal of black people. That's true. I think he was a villain, but I can't remember any group of two. But the black ones are not black people. Besides, there are a ton of evil people in Witcher 1 that are not black and just as bad. That's true. But let's circle back to the black ones are not black people. That's true. And their overall group is more so based on France and England. The reason why I still equate that with the issues as far as racism is because, let's be honest, throughout the fantasy genre, for as long as I can remember, we have seen where black is treated as evil. If it's something wicked, corrupted, despicable, to be avoided, then you call it black. And if it's holy, healing, good, then you call it white. So yes, the group is based upon France, England. It's not really based upon black people. But that concept that if it's evil, if it's to be avoided, call it black, That definitely exists in The Witcher, and it's heavily prevalent in D&D. It's heavily prevalent in Pathfinder. It's heavily prevalent even if you play the game Pathfinder, whether it be from the conversations to the books, everywhere. If something is black, it's absolutely terrible and to be avoided. And I feel like that has its roots in racism. Like, it's not just because they randomly picked that color. Like, it's literally in the dictionary. As an old white guy, here's what I made you terribly. I don't know. You know, but I think how people view a work matters. I'm not going to buy into the whole this is this stereotype unless the creator flat out says this is this stereotype. I don't automatically connect those dots. Like I said, it all depends. It's present in all society. That says more of you, that you see my people in this race than of the creator. It could be. Like I said, I see all the time where people make these fake connections where I'm like, I don't agree with this. And it can be insulting as a minority to see people making those connections because you're like, why would you even think of my people in this way? You know, so I absolutely agree. So nothing that I've said is trying to say like, well, no, you should consider it automatically racism. Like, no, I don't agree with that at all. But I think each situation is different. And I don't automatically lean towards, well, the creator didn't mean anything by it. I just look at the situation based upon the factors involved and make a decision for myself. Tell the last one actually claimed Rossanella's got. I remember. We spoke to Rossanella. All right. And let's let her know she's good.
Endless thanks for taking care of my.
Oh, you already know. Okay, fine. I didn't even need to talk to you. I do need to talk to Maya, but not yet. I think the Cyclops guy is here, right? As a Haitian myself, I just didn't care about the voodoo boys in Cyberpunk. I just want to play games, black cosmetic skin, white cosmetic skin. To me, it's all fake, so I never paid attention. That's absolutely a legitimate way to view it.
Have a pity and toss me a pie, will you?
I think there's a legitimate question about how much some of this stuff matters. Like, I'm definitely someone who appreciates representation, and it can motivate me to feel a certain way about a project. Like, I loved Mass Effect because it was the first time where I felt like I could play in a video game as a black person and take that story across multiple games. And so it made it seem like this, 10 years long epic. And so that whole experience made me feel really, really close to Mass Effect. But some of these like controversies that have come up, I think it's questionable whether or not they actually matter. But the thing is, I think it's questionable whether or not it matters on both sides. So like you can say it doesn't really matter what is the color of this mutant gang group that's in Cyberpunk, whether or not they're black or whatever. It doesn't make them racist. I'll go with that. But I also think it doesn't matter, to be honest, whether or not there are black dwarves in Lord of the Rings. Like, people try to say, like, there's a black female dwarf. This is why this series is terrible. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have the importance and the standing that you all are pretending that does. You can gauge a lot about the character of a creator by watching their reaction to having problematic parts of their creation explained to them. That is true. Some of these people do not have the the bandwidth to have those type of discussions. Absolutely. How would you feel about playing the part of Aethys on stage? Exactly. I thought that was you.
I'm no actor. And besides, I can't barely see nothing as it is.
I just don't want horrible people to feel like their media supporting their viewpoints. But the thing is, I feel like that's completely unavoidable. Like, look at The Boys. Anyone who can stand back and has real perspective can look at Homelander and see, like, this is not a guy to be emulated. This is not a guy that you should look up to. This is not a guy who is like this shining example of the great alpha male and everything that a man should want to be. But you still see these huge swaths of terrible people on Twitter who are using him as like some sort of positive figure. And to me, it's hilarious. Like, y'all don't get it? What show did y'all watch? Did we see the same things? I feel like it's impossible. It's impossible to control who is going to feel empowered by your content. That's what I feel as well, because human eyes don't work well. And so, on another draw, I'm biased. They made my favorite race in Pie Fighter, but oh, they're bad at times with the dark fade and everything. I don't have a problem with draw at all. I love them. In fact, sooner or later, I'm definitely going to do a Baldur's Gate 3 draw playthrough. I thought the light white good and the dark black evil came from that fear of darkness at nighttime. No, I feel like it has bases that go back further than that. Further than that. I mean, you can just look in the dictionary. In fact, I think the Webster finally changed that about maybe 5 years ago, something like that. But for a long time, you could go in the dictionary and basically D&D, the way it's set up, that white white and black contrast, it comes straight from that, and its roots is racism. To ensure that, hey, if you're black, it's wrong. To be fair, Jacob is the worst. Oh my. Oh. Jacob might be the worst romance I've ever seen in a game. Like it was cringeworthy to see what BioWare did with Jacob. It was absolutely just wow. I was horrified at how bad it was. Not the only black character though. There's Anderson Cortez, who's Hispanic but not black. Yeah, they had a ton of black characters, but they never did a black romance properly. Nah, it was awful. I could very well be wrong, Slandered. What are you referring to, Benjamin? I'm not sure what you said. Sorry, the chat's been going. And people were way more aware. Like me buying a certain food was not okay. Yeah. That's what they talk about woke, where you're so woke you're asleep. Like, everything can't be racist. I'm sorry. All right. You'll just need to speak a few lines, stand there, and look intimidating.
Intimidating I can do. Reciting a bunch of namby-pamby lines is going to be the trickier part, but I'm game to try.
He sighs, he straightens his spine, standing even taller to tower over you.
Turn me in the right direction, and I'll make me way to the Radiant Court.
Excellent. Return to the peg-leg troop in the Radiant Court, and there we go. Several brutish-looking thugs emerge from the nearby alleys. What? Well, the black pilot, I forgot his name, but that's the best romance in the game. But I played as a woman, so I never got it. Did I? I don't think I ever did his romance, because they're surrounding me from all sides.
Well, if it isn't Arker's new business partner.
What?
That's quite a lot of coin you two exchanged.
Harker. Which one was Harker? We're not business partners.
Don't bother lying. Several of my men saw you at the King's Coffin. Looks like Arker's hiring new muscle and coming out of retirement. And I can't be having that now, can I?
Trainer. Which one was Trainer? I'm trying to remember. So, Cortez was the one all the way in the basement, and he was your pilot. Which one was Trainer? I don't remember her. That part about white, dark dichotomy being about sunlight versus lack thereof. Oh, I got you. Yeah, no, I think it goes back further than that. And I love the idea of glow-in-the-dark elves, bro. Absolutely. Like, I'm not against it. The problem is not that one thing. It's not that they are dark elves and that they're evil. It's that being dark or being black is evil across the board. Like, it doesn't matter like the situation. Being if it's black in D&D or Pathfinder, that means it's evil, it's terrible, it's to be avoided. That is the crux of the issue. Who is Trainer? That's how I always took it, but I found out as I've gotten older that I grew up in a much different environment than most people and didn't have mental injury to think about a lot of things before I got away from my abusive PTSD and other sort of goodies. I'm glad you're able to move away from that situation. Training was great, but wasn't going to give up William before. Trina is the gay British woman. What does she do? Well, she was on the navigation level, right? She helped you like with your maps and chart. I remember her now. I never played with her either because I always prefer party member romances. Like I love being able to take my romance with me everywhere. So having NPC romances where you really only see them when you come back to the ship didn't appeal to me nearly as much. Trina was a toothbrush lady. I watched clips of that romance on YouTube, so it looked pretty cool. But I never bothered doing it myself.
Think I'll send him your head as a reminder to stick to selling grog and flea-infested beds.
Good Lord. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll start with these people. And he'll move over just to be sure. There we go. There we go. You?
This thing isn't doing the job.
I'm sure there's somebody in that. Here we go. And you? Oh, that's my chick. Excellent. Boo! Okay, so we're gonna have to go back to the ship owner guy at some point and find out what in the hell is going on with him. But before we do that,
I should come clean about something, Captain.
Maya scratches the back of her head, sighing. Speak your mind.
Atsura didn't set me loose just so I could stay busy. Fact of the matter is, he gave me a job to do.
I don't think the dictionary constantly changes what we think now. Me myself, but that's me, king of the opposite. In Japan, you might very well be right. You might very well be right. Magic the Gathering's first Kamiwaga block was a wield of black magic fighting an oppressive theocracy of white-aligned gods. Really? That's fascinating. They can always make better content in the future and maybe break that stereotype of D&D and Pathfinder, or maybe let the third-party content creators create. That's what I'm counting on. I'm not expecting Pazzo or Wizard of the Coast to change any of this stuff in any sort of dramatic way. Because we see the type of changes they do. They make changes that nobody cares about. Like I was reading one thing about you can't say race anymore. Like, who is that supposed to be for? Who's that supposed to help? So that's the kind of bullshit that they're doing. They're not actually getting to the crux of the issue. So I don't even think about them. I want to focus on the new content creators and what they could do. The idea is always evil. Seem wrong to me. It's feeling more like a gray area. Murder via magic. Yeah. Have they announced any sort of necromancy yet? And you know what? They just finally did. I was noticing in Baldur's Gate 3, I felt like I wasn't hearing anything about any sort of necromancy related spells. But I noticed that one of the paladin variants is able to raise the dead. But you have like 6 or 7 human party members, only 4 or so of them are white. Mass Effect always had a great balance. It had all sorts of cultures. Very, very happy with them. But if you were to say summon a ghost from a murder person, that shouldn't be considered universally evil. Context should be important. Absolutely. I don't think I've seen a game yet that really, really got necromancy right, to be honest with you. That's why I'm hoping one of the Dragon Age games will be in whatever the place Cassandra is from, where it's basically all about necromancy and has these huge, incredible burial grounds, whatever they're called. Like, I would really, really love to see that. Let me use creepy dark magic that creeps people out without forcing me to be evil. I want to freak people out, but don't make it evil. Yep. Don't mean to give you a start on the race BS. Yeah. Who does that help? Nobody. Nobody. Exactly. Necromancy isn't evil. It has been human. The only reason I don't like race is because it doesn't accurately describe the difference between humans, elves, dwarves, etc. That may be so, but they're not telling people that you can't use that in order for those different categories to be more accurately described. is supposed to be empowering for minorities. Who the fuck is empowered by it? Nobody. Nobody. I'm black guy here. I don't give a fuck. Like, you not saying race does not help me. It doesn't at all. Sure, in universe, people can see it as evil. In fact, I love it. Wasn't necromancy under healing in D&D at one point? That I couldn't say. Races are humans, really. The undead is a case by case basis. Everyone has the reason to be chained to the earth and rise to undead or be put to rest. No one case is the same. That's the way it should be, but I don't think I've ever seen it that way in a game ever.
I've got this stack of missives I need to deliver. Noble errand, right?
If I can kill this enemy without it being considered morally a problem, why can't I also raise them from the dead? Like, what's the issue? Like, if raising them from the dead is a problem, then killing them is a problem too. Like, can we be honest about this? So, she shows you a small collection of scrolls in her pack, all judiciously sealed with the sigil of the Royal Deadfire Company.
The company has a lot of people working away from headquarters, and Atsura trusted me to get these in the right hands. I hope that isn't a problem.
I'll see that we make the deliveries in good time. I won't waste our time by asking what's in them.
Appreciate it, Captain. You'd be doing Atsura and the company a big favor.
She grins.
This one's bound for Harama, an acquaintance. Good sailor. He's somewhere off in Tikawara.
She holds up a single scroll.
And these are for Tuaha, an old friend stationed in Port Maje. You meet some strange types in the Navy.
I had some questions.
I've got some answers.
Let's be off. Okay, cool. That was it. Excellent. All right. Let's do that. And where was I going? I was going to the Radiant Court. Except, but a bit of a mouthful. Necromancy is presented as being a cultural taboo, but not really an evil act in Dragon Age, if I remember correctly. No, because, well, I don't remember Dragon Age well enough. We'll bring this conversation back up when I get to play that game again, because I felt like it was treated as evil.
Thanks muchly for bringing Taerna back to us. Her storm and weather spells will really strike an atmosphere for the play. And now that we've got a real big brute for Aethys, we can put on a proper play. Stick around for the performance. I think you'll be plenty pleased.
She spreads her hands as if about to take a bow, but instead she snaps her fingers together and the stage darkens behind her, signaling the start of the show. Avoid raising undead and seek out
Ladies and gentle pirates and rapscallions too.
James, what's going on, man? How are you?
Truest of mental treats. Without
Healing
further
is under
ado,
conjuration.
I present the Green Menace. Let
Right,
us
but
see
necromancy
how
isn't, though,
new
right?
blood crews, the lusty rudder and fortune's folly. Two ships
You could be a chaotic good necromancer in Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, but NPCs tend to be baddies.
In search
We'll see how it works in Baldur's Gate 3.
islands.
Being a necromantic mind flayer sounds right up my alley. James, I got absolutely no complaints, man. Just taking things day by day. Day by day.
We ain't seen land for days.
Lots of sense, 3. They specifically wanted old girl for her weather effects.
Got a lumpy looking island coming on the horizon.
That's no island. That be the Green Menace. We are doomed for sure.
Souls and gold and glory, you will give these to me. For I am a god among gods, and a true menace upon the seas. Souls and gold and glory. Blame the dawn stars, for they have summoned me. And now I must feed.
Will be the end for us, it will. Oh, Andra, take me now.
Wow. Talk about in Dragon Age Inquisition. In one of the nations, raising your dead relatives is undead service is commonplace. But everywhere else, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Cassandra's place. That's where they have the undead service, and undead are just considered natural part of everything. Blind players can become liches in D&D. They're called Alhoons, and they're super extra freaky. Ooh. I want that playthrough. I want it. I want it.
They love us, do you see? They goddamned loved us thanks to you.
Ooh, I got an extra 1,500 copper. I'll take it. I'd see it again. All right. That quest done. Now we go back to the King's Coffin. I think it was always under spell category, but you could be a Lich Cleric. I don't think being a Necromancer is bad and Wrath of the Righteous either, is it? Being a Lich is not, but it is not the same thing. You do not have to automatically be evil aligned if you take an well, actually, yeah, no. So you don't automatically have to be evil aligned if you take necromancy type spells, but really the only necromancy related is, well, I'll put it like this. So using the spells itself, no. But in the only mythic path that specializes in necromancy, you pretty much have to be evil to take full advantage of it. So
What can I do for you?
there's a single way that I know of to become undead without being forced into an evil alignment. To be less witted by a good aligned dead, which mostly only the elven guys do. Don't worry, you'll fight Alhoons in Baldur's Gate 2. It's absolutely horrible. Is that the one where you... I seem to remember there was this fight where like you clicked on a casket and then maybe had to put some things in the casket or something like that, and then a lich came out of it eventually, and it was like this super hard, super powerful lich that you had to go up against. Was that an Alhoon? Is that what you're talking about? I think the reason in Pathfinder is because enslaving the dead goes hand in hand with raising the dead. So necromancers are evil in Pathfinder because they speed up the degeneration of the end of the universe. It's what destroyed the previous universe. Interesting. I ran into a friend of yours, Eamon the Fox.
No friend of mine. Let me guess. He claimed I recruited you and that I'm coming out of retirement. I don't know why no one ever believes me when I tell them that I've put that life behind me. Especially since I tend to kill him.
He shakes his head.
In any case, I suspect old weasel-faced Eamon didn't survive his encounter with you. Dumb bastard never did know when to back down.
Farewell. Interesting. All right. And that, I believe, ends my time here. Finally. Oh, I could have just left by sea then. God dog it. Oh, well. Bam, 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 bam. Okay.
Aethys because he died.
Oh, there's Little Woody's back.
I never thought Gone could be so
destructive, uncaring. That is what the gods are. All of them.
No, I won't believe that. There's a reason for everything, even if we can't see it. Sometimes, maybe, you gotta be hard to be kind.
Still waiting for the kind part.
Keep moving. This here is for the crew of the Divine Barge. You ain't a part of it, so you ain't getting inside.
But you can't create undead or animate dead if you're good aligned in the tabletop. So yeah, then in Pathfinder, you got to be evil aligned to do necromancy. So still same deal. The elf liches are called Baal Norns. I love this because I love good undead. It's part of the game when you're in a mind flayer colony. I won't say more. It's a room in that section. There are a few good undead creatures. I think there was a reverse ghost called Sacred Garden, something like that. I think there's a voodoo-themed witch archetype that specifically gets to ignore the alignment restrictions on necromancy. Ooh, that sounds better than the witch doctor they have, which was completely lame class. I'm in the good graces of the Principe. Surely that should count for something.
Listen, I'm from the Deerwood. We don't lick someone's boots just because they're important. I won't even curtsy when I throw your ass out of here. Now get!
Père Complanca, let us pass.
Oh, wait.
I know you have Jacquelot.
I did the quest already.
Fine, after you.
I did this quest already. What's going to happen? Is this a bug? Bug!
We're honored by your presence, Captain.
That's weird. Tax, say nothing. Load the last save. That's super weird. Let me check the journal real quick. Make sure Palagina's quest. Yeah, Palagina's quest is done. Still good. Weird that chick just popped back up. All right. Let's go. By sea. Take you 21 minutes. That's fine. Necromancy is Nurgle, and Nurgle is heresy. Typical circle of rot druid, though will accept the undead. I'm really curious what Chaos guys will end up being able to align with. Let's see. Tekehu, Merke, Worthless Idiot. Okay. So, that's Zorro. That's a wicked looking pet. Isn't Eder also able to have a pet? Oh no. Seriously? Damn. I thought they'd let me look at the whole crew and get my crew together. Oh, kind of sucks. How do I just drop it into my... I just want to drop it into my inventory. Where's it supposed to actually go? No, right? This is where it's supposed to go, right? Yeah. Well, what over here? All right, fine. Issues tell her judgment is unlawful. All right. So we can't just go through all the inventory that way. That's unfortunate. Here. All right. We'll have to do that at a later time then. World men go chaos undivided. No one god means you don't have to act like a one-dimensional cartoon character. We'll see. Some tells me I'll be kind of hardcore with the role playing when the game finally comes out. I finished Dunnage, so actually now we need to go back to Nekataka, right? Ooh, definitely don't want to do that. Ooh, I definitely do want you though. Canthan Thanek. Yeah, we're gonna wait on you. Yep, nighttime. Nighttime is always the right time. Doru points at the ship in the distance. Galleon captain, a three-master, or it was. Naught remains of the ship's foremast save a splintered stump, and the bowsprit has been sheared off. See how they crippled her? That's the work of pirates. Principe most likely, and probably the upstarts if they're raiding this close to Valiant patrol routes. Tuliak Longfrost leans in close. They'll have taken any gold, but they might have left supplies. Irina's brow is damp with sweat. We shouldn't stick around. If the Valiant see us plundering one of their ships, they won't give us a chance to explain. Pull up alongside it. We'll salvage whatever's left. You take a small boarding party and scour the galleon. Most of its cargo and all of its crew are missing, but you do find several barrels of fresh water and a few sacks of dried rice and coarse meal. Your competent hands make quick work of the task. You return to the ship and order Doru to set sail. Doru salutes. Very well. The crew scrambles to their posts, eager to be clear of the area. Once the ship has disappeared behind you, the crew abandons nervous glances for relieved laughter. Morale gain 3. And now we are not going anywhere. Let's see. We already have Obidem Sanctum. Boom. I guess we're just going to go here then. Oh, that's right. Rodu. Save. Who you? I don't want any problem with you. What island is this? This is Nekataka. That's still too much for me, so we'll leave that alone. No! A sea encounter. I'll be intending to play a renegade road trader without going chaos. Filthy Xeno sympathizer. That is why 40k has the best alignment. It is just the spokes of the Chaos Gods and then dutiful servant of the God Emperor all the way on the other side. Although word bearers are said to be the main chaos antagonists in Rogue Trader. What are word bearers? My favorite alignment in D&D is lawful, neutral, evil. Always been playing lawful and intelligent characters where it ends justify the means mentality is my favorite thing in the tabletop RPGs. Nice. Out of nowhere, a heavy fog rolls over the ocean, so dense that you cannot see more than a dozen feet out from your ship. With the fog's arrival, the winds die, the waves calm, and the Defiant is left aimlessly drifting. The only sounds, those of the hull groaning as if in dread of what's to come. Eerie green lights pierce through the fog as the silhouette of a massive galleon approaches. Black sails, though tattered and rotting, catching an otherworldly wind, slicing the ship forward at a rapid pace. Captain, a skeleton outfitted in tarnished armor with glowering eyes, surveys you from the quarterdeck of the decaying galleon. She wraps 2 fleshless fingers against her chest before pointing right at you. What the goddess of death has marked, I will leave untouched. She nods solemnly once, then with a tilt of her skull, steers the ship away. As the floating hangman turns, several undead sailors shamble across the deck, hungry for a look at your crew. They scratch at the chipped and rotted railing, heads rolling on their exposed spines. The ship disappears back into the fog. A few minutes pass before the fog fully dissipates, and the winds pick back up, rustling your sails. The sea is clear, empty. The other ship is nowhere to be found. Word bearers are pricks. Terrible space marines. Interesting. Oh, wait. Before we do this here. It's you two that I need to check out. So here, you. And then we know you have everything. So you. We'll check out you two. Queen's Birth. There we go. Word bearers are the Chaos Legion who worship chaos as a whole. Other undivided legions, and even some aligned legions, view chaos as a tool or even a necessary nuisance. Word bearers are the Dolores Umbridge of 40k. There could also be multiple chaos antagonists.
You eyeing that fresh shat bare paws lump of lumber yonder? That be the misery's delight. Malnage's pus-stuffed canker of a boat.
He points wildly at a half-galley docked nearby. Only 2 hands hold the deck. The remaining crew may be below decks or may be ashore. Who?
Malnage, High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire. Unfortunately, also the second best ship hunter around. After yours truly, of course.
They're the OG Chaos Space Marines. Interesting. I know very little about Warhammer lore, if I'm honest. Don't worry. Keep following my channel. You'll learn plenty more. I'm working on a lore video right now that I hope to release sometime this week. They focus more on being possessed than while turning into representations of their gods. More on possessed than being interesting. It's weird that I can recognize Liam O'Brien every time I hear that mono voice. Chad will be more than happy to enlighten you. That's true as well.
Doxy popped a hard on and a half for hating me the tick I joined the sorcerer. Romaro shielded me from the worst of her training. When they bountied him, figured for sure the Rat Queen would be the first rat up the gangplank. Monarch be up in Romaro's head, or I've never had a roll on the waves. She finds him for us. She'll sink him soon as sighted. Come on, Captain.
So, what does that mean? What is the name? Sorcerer and a Gentleman. Died. Notice ship died to the Queen's birth. Cobbler. Am I supposed to run out after? I'm confused. First to start the horns. Slandered game. What got you into CRPGs? So, as you ready your ship, a cloaked figure mounts the gangplank and roughly forces a burned book into your hands. They turn and depart without a word. The binding of this book reeks of smoke. What few pages remain are crinkled and black. Based on the few chapter headers that survived the fire damage, this might have been the book of antiquated laws. Now it's nothing more than a charred relic of authority. I know what that is. We'll get to that in just a second. Where is the deck of many things? I remember now about that. Okay, so must have to go in to get it. So my parents didn't allow me to play video games when I was a kid. Only game that my father ever allowed me to play was a game called King's Quest. Air today, gone tomorrow. Because it was like a mystery game, so you had to figure things out. So that was like my first introduction to video games. So I played it, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't going to make me like buy more games. Then when I finally got my own apartment and I had just bought my own PC, that was right around the time Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines came out. I played that game, loved it, and made me think about, oh, what are some other good games? Now, at the same time, I started playing Knights of the Old Republic. And that Knights of the Old Republic is what really, really got me into video games. And so it made me also say, well, what are some other BioWare games that they've created that I would enjoy? And I kept seeing Baldur's Gate. So I played both Baldur's Gate games and really enjoyed them. And then I played Pillars of Eternity and really enjoyed Pillars of Eternity. And that kind of started my, okay, I'm really into CRPGs. I really enjoy playing these. It's called Carnage found out on the streams. Chat will always lord up when 40K comes up. Nice. All right. Let me find out what is going on with this quest. What was I supposed to do that I apparently didn't do? Yep, Benjamin basically summed it up. So wait, it's not here. And that's my ship, so it must be another dock? I'm confused about where I'm supposed to go. Romaro supposedly met someone named Udine at the Luminous Bathhouse. Perhaps she knows how to contact them. Notice the Mistress Delight, a ship docked at the Queen's Berth. Oh, so maybe I should just be heading over to the bathhouse. Fine. Oh, you have to go all the way over here, right, to do that? Oh, wait, you can go here, too. Let's do that.
My little privateer.
That would be Akara.
It goes without saying that I have
What bows you have available?
Always eager to hunt pirates. My contacts have one by the name of Veen in their spyglass.
Oh, that's actually me. Yeah, it's been a long journey, but I've enjoyed it. Hesitates for speaking up again.
Veen is a Vithrak, if such things matter to you. Gets in your head, they say.
Yeah, the whole history of how Slandered came into being, I love that. I'm really enjoying putting this video together about her backstory. It's not about her. I'm actually putting a video together specifically about the Drukari. Tara is sadly too far away for me to get any blue alien boobas or whoever betrayed the Imperium. Hey, I'll take the bounty.
Gelate. You can catch up to Veen as he sails the Dow reckless far east of Neketaka, past the Kuaurikuhu Islands, no doubt thinking himself beyond our reach.
Ania grins to herself and nods. Farewell. All right. Takeu. I don't remember what you should have. Oh, you specialize in explosives? Cool, whatever. A trio stone claws. I have you focused on metamorphing. You know, rain spells, you don't need that. Base maximum health, probably need that. Reduce the time it takes, probably need that. Practice healer. Oh, here we go. Mutually exclusive with, oh, here we go. So he focused on wild shock. Let automatically affect nature. Shock damage. Yep, we'll take that, fine. So he needs something that increases shock. Great increased penetration with electricity attacks. I assume this will help that. Next. Oh, that's the only level up he has? Okay, fine. And then you, let's also keep you up nice and healthy. Yep. Oh, that's right. You got both of them. You already got frenzy. So now stagger foes or critical hits bleed targets for raw damage. I'll take that. And then you also got the cipher part. We already did that. Increasing their penetration. And you're going to focus more straight up. Actually, yeah, I like that. Psychic backlash, sure. Now, looking at your weapons, which was the real concern, you've got a hand mortar, a blunderbuss. You could probably, I like you with the with the double pistols better, but that's not going to work for right now. Why do you have all these books in your inventory? You shouldn't have all this. There we go. In fact, you don't need anything. Stop. Let me do it. Thank you. Thank you. And you don't need these either. I can sell these. But I'll let you keep these two. And then pay your padded armor. You can keep that. You got your two things. Fine. And you're fully leveled. That's good enough for me. You're also fully leveled. You've got your water shape robe. This probably needs to be upgraded, but that's fine. We can do that at a later time. This is good enough for me for now. Okay, fine. And do I really want to keep Seraphim? I actually don't, to be honest with you. But I kind of should. No, I don't need him right now. Let's lead by sea first and switch them out. Seeing too much. Dismiss you. Do we want to take you back, or we could take Olaf back? Let's take Olaf back. No, actually. Which one? You know what? We never upgraded your gear, now that I think about it. All right, now. Queen's Birth? No. We want Pariki's Overlook. A Principe group notices you walking and approaches you in the street. Why get rid of Seraphim? He has the best dialogue. Did I just get rid of Seraphim? I didn't do that, did I? No, he's still in there. Seraphim stops as the other pirates approach, his fist balled. The heat of his anger flushes your skin, then seeps beneath, simmering your thoughts.
Hold up, Cap. That be Malnage, the High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire herself, awaiting us like a shark in hate.
Be ready for anything.
Always, Cap.
His hand hovers near the handle of his weapon. A flash of ice-cold loathing cuts through the heat of Seraphine's anger, threatening to wash you over. Let the visions come. Aching shoulders, aching wrists, aching ankles, bound and gagged, the filthy rag in your mouth soaked through and briny, every breath like drowning, hanging from the bowsprit, the rise and fall of swells, the sea spray of a chilling shock. Malnaz shouting from the bulwark. Ignore it, she says. Ignore it and focus, you useless sack of spider shit. Spider shit? Reality rushes back in like an approaching wave.
Captain, I've heard a mess and a half about you. Mostly good. Though I see your tasting company could use some refining.
The Orling gestures to Seraphim with a smirk.
Typical Molnage. Can't match my skill, so you try to spew shit.
Boy, when you're as old as me, your skill will still be naught more than the untrained fumbling of an adherent maid to the refined workings of my mind.
The sailors back in her chuckle. When you insult Seraphim, you insult me. What brings you here, Manage?
I've heard about your run-ins with Captains Benweth and Ferrante. Meeting the old Principe seems like. Almost makes a girl green. The envy of missing the party.
She grins, her mouth filled with sharp yellow teeth.
I'm tracking a man by the name of Rimaro. Traitor to the cause.
Romaro ain't no traitor, you mind-blind sack of squid squirts.
Seraphim growls, fists tight and fur bristling. You feel the anger coil around him and spill outward, and your vision begins to swim. Let the visions come. A sharp strike against your cheek, and your head hits wood hard. The wet of something rolling down the back of your scalp, clumping in your fur. Emanal standing over you, fist balled, a flash like thunder and copper in your mouth. Then an old man, eyes equal parts kindness and rage, hauling her back, shouting her down, turning to you, leaning in, the rage fleeing. The anger slides past, and your vision resolves into the Nekataka street.
Captain, there'll be a bounty of some 4,000 pounds on Rimaro, quick or dead. I'd be willing to cut you a tenth of that, here and now, if you give me any knowledge you might have stumbled across on your travels.
She glances again at Seraphim. Lie. We heard Romaro's on his way to Port Maj. Seraphim blinks at you, then spits out some murdered invectives to sell the lie. Grinning, Malnage plucks a purse from her belt and tosses it to you. She chuckles.
Apologies, Seraphim. Seems your trust were misplaced. Thank you kindly, Captain. If this tip ends up worth a damn, I'll be the first raising your name up the main mast.
Her eyes narrow.
It turns out you shitted me. I'll be back for the coin and your shit besides.
Come on back. She snaps a salute, turns on her heel, and walks away. You're welcome, Seraphim, even though you didn't say anything. I'm just going to assume that you're bloody grateful. All right, pair of keys. If there are no further interruptions. You learn so many curse words in this game. Okay. We're only supposed to go to the bathhouse, right? That's all we need to do here, I think. There's a bunch of shops, but I want to handle the shops in order, so we won't go to any of those just yet. Oh, that's right. I have you in the group because I want to check your inventory. Right. You don't have any good stuff. Here, let's organize this by what? Why is it doing sell value? Superb arquebus. Wow, that's more than the other ones. Okay, fine. Oh, that's right. I was going to give her the Morning Star, but no, we should stick with +1 enemies engaged, counts as offhand weapon, 10 chance on receiving melee weapon damage to gain 1 wound. Right. This works great if you're a monk, but she's not. Small shield, small shield. +2 deflection, +1 enemy engaged, +5 defenses against fire attacks. Sure, why not? I'll give you this. This can go back down here. Now she needs a one-handed weapon. For now, she could take a saber. Long term, we need to remember to give her something better. Okay, and then she's good. She also has her breastplate, which I'm not going to bother and increase because I can, because I'm not going to use it permanently. I keep hearing about that Puss in Boots movie and people saying that it's amazing, but I just can't imagine it. Did you actually see it? It's too bad you can't sell Shorty's lantern for. I totally, 1,000% sell it. I'd never sell a lantern. Stop it. I never see anything Shrek. They say name your price. Dude, the Shrek movies are like the best animated movies of my childhood. I'm not one of those people who pines for them and like absolutely must see Shrek movies, but I don't have anything against them either. +3 deflection that improves with your athletic skill. Let's see comparison. Counts as an offhand weapon. Burning bash. The wielders engulfed in fire, increasing their freeze armor and causing burn damage to anyone who damages them with a melee attack. That's actually pretty freaking useful, but there's also this. +3 deflection and improves with your athletic skill. -5% incoming damage from spells improves with metaphysics skill. +5% incoming damage from weapons. Whoa! I assume you can enchant this to -5% damage taken from all sources improves with metaphysics, or soul smite grants soul smite. Use the luminous shard stored soul energy to strike a target, knocking them back and prone and lowering their defenses. Penalty becomes more potent with the metaphysics skill. Fascinating, but not useful for you. Does it make sense to give Olaf a shield? Certainly not a heavy one. And reducing his accuracy? Nah, we're gonna let that go. Frostseeker Warbow. We actually could give Pallegina a bow, but nah, I'm good. All right, we'll have to just keep it there for now. Actually, now that I think about it, with him being a barbarian and all, I could just give you the poleaxe. But do I really want you running up? You know what? You're the one who I could give a bow. Quite frankly. Yeah, but I'm a worse person than you. Wild 3. It is absolutely the best of the Shrek movies, and the art style is very much into the Spider-Verse for cats. Really? Yeah, you know, I took my nephews to see the Avatar movies this past weekend, and I told my daughter I was going to do it. And when I did this, she started jumping up and down, excited, and saying, I want to go to the movies, I want to go to the movies, I want to go to the movies. I've never taken my daughter to the movies before because I've never felt confident that she'll actually sit there quietly and watch the movie for 2 hours. But maybe a Shrek movie would do it. You know, that's a thought. It's a really good film. I loved it. Okay, I might have to try that out. Orsic, what's going on, man? How are you? We finished with Dunnage, so now we're back at Nekataka trying to clear up some different quests. All right, I spent too much time on this. We'll revisit this subject later. All right, and you know what? I'm sorry. The formation is irritating me. Eddar's got to be in the front. He's just gotta. You could stand up to be higher as well, but whatever. All right. Now that we've done Pallegina's quest, I don't know what else we could do to raise up her disposition.
If there's anything you need, please let me to mine water.
You're a dean, right? We heard you know where we can find Romero.
Oh, you poxy old salt. Spill what you know before we spill your guts.
Damn!
Seraphim, you have a rather curious method of making a request. How often has this worked in your favor?
Well, mayhaps a time or two. Suppose it works best with a gun behind it. Ma'am.
Clearing his throat, he takes an increased interest in his toes.
Seraphim.
She smiles, an expression both sad and kind.
Romero described you pointedly. He told me that you would come were you in danger.
Danger? Nay, not I. But I do seek him, though. And I feel that he needs me. Feel it in the deep depths of my furry fun sack. If you care for him, you'll be telling me what you know.
Furry fun sack.
He bade me not tell anybody of his plans, ye included. He's left this area, A fear of the danger he faces on those near to him.
He sighs. She sighs, a long, pained sound accompanied by a wince. Please help my friend, Dean. He loves Romero like a father.
He's the nearest thing I got to kin. Why didn't he trust me?
Seraphim's head drops. I openly acknowledge I'm a horrible person. You shouldn't do anything that I do. I'll keep it in mind, Thread. I've literally explained the entirety of the Lord of the Rings lore while watching the trilogy with a girl before, surprisingly, she called me back.
He did trust you. He trusted you wholly.
Dean frowns at Seraphim, her eyes wet.
I'll tell you, and trust you to go on best what to make of the conning. Romero treated me as galleon for mine clipper. A stuggy trade, surely, but he insisted that he needed the speed. I can't tell you what he intends, but he set sail for Sayuka, intending to replenish there. That's everything I con, for whatever good it does you.
He gave up the sorcerer? And for what? An elven clipper? Makes as much sense as Doug's on a Drake cap. He'd be easy catchings for any freebooter after his eye.
Who is hunting Romero besides Minaj?
That salted cockfuss be the biggest threat, sure as shit. But others will want that bounty too. Not to mention the favor comes with it.
Strange that your good friend is trying so hard to avoid you. Seraphim blinks, nose twitching. His ears angle slightly back.
Surely thinks he's protecting me. Stubborn as I seem, Captain Watcher. Romero makes me look the dabbler.
We should hurry to Sayuka.
Aye, Cap, you've read my mind. And here with me thinking that were my skill in particular.
He winks.
Thank you mightily, lass. Enjoy the baths.
He bows to you, Dean.
Soft travels. The wages of war catch ye up soon or sign.
All right. Talking during movies is one of my biggest pet peeves, especially if I haven't seen the movie before. When I took my nephews to see Avatar, I got this one nephew. I love him to death, but that boy talks. He loves to talk. I had never taken. I've taken my other nephews to the movies, but he was never around. So this is my first time going to the movies with him. He talked the whole movie, and he's the type who he'll say something to you about the movie, and if you don't respond back, he'll tap you and repeat it again. Like, you absolutely must engage in this conversation with me. It was rough. It was rough for me because I'm also the type who I don't talk during the movies, and I don't particularly appreciate it when other people are talking during the movies. So that was extremely rough. And he recently lost his father. So I've been much more conscious about trying to make sure that, I'm there for him and that, he doesn't feel alone and isolated, things of that nature. And so I didn't feel comfortable just shutting him down. Like, bruh, stop talking. I don't want to talk during the movie, because I feel like, well, what if he was here with his father right now? Would his father let him talk, So it was rough. It was rough. Do I need to go to Serpent's Crown? I do, right? I'm so confused. I got fights there. No, these are all heavy fights. So actually, no. We're going to get my correct team right now. And get Olive back. Get him his correct stuff. Okay. Now, do we need anything else from Parika's Outlook? No. Oh, but we do need something from Queensburg. Somewhere here that we're supposed to attack some people. The whole 3.5 hour movie? Yes, absolutely. The whole time. If you don't want me to explain the plot of movies, TV shows, don't ask questions. My mom asks questions the entire time. She gets pissed that I answer them. Where are these people? Oh, that's rough. That's a movie, TV show pet peeve. Don't ask me questions. Me and my friends get drunk, then we all watch. It gets more chatty. See, that's understandable. Y'all drinking, having a good time. I can completely get with that. Oh, it doesn't rest your whole team? Why isn't he resting while he's on the ship? Oh, you know what? Maybe I need to put him in that specific section for people who are injured. But I don't even think you could put your party members in that section, right? Why is Shrimp over here? Oh, he's supposed to be over here.
Maritime songs?
Okay, we're looking for... There's some people we're supposed to be defeating, right? Bounty. Quickspore. No. She's in Serpent's Crown. Search Queen's Birth, kill Lord Admiral Imp, and take his head. Where is Lord Admiral Imp? Oh, wait. We got a little bit further here. Nope, not here. Let's go back down here. That's part of it for me. I get extra chatty when I'm drunk, so I don't drink while watching movies unless I'm with other movie talkers. That makes sense. Wait a minute. So is that the ship captain?
Our business is resolved.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. Did I finish any of your bounties?
My little privateer.
Yeah, and still hunting beans, so no. Wow, Mare. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Whoa. There we go. This looks oddly familiar, and let's make sure our formation is correct. Looks good to me. And we'll go ahead and level you up. What do we do here? Small chin void and critical hits. Is this fast casting? Ooh, range spells over a longer space. Yep, we'll do that. Boom. Did you try the waterfall? What waterfall? What are you talking about? Boom, 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 boom. Keybreaker. Frighten Kith targets upon critical hit. Can you enchant this? Crafting requirements not land. Wow, this is not even considered fine yet? Good Lord. And you could do it that way. Frighten Kith targets upon a critical hit. Unique. Oh, wait. Reject the wheel. Plus 10 on defense deflection on 30 seconds for nearby allies when scoring a kill with it. Grants Mesotheist. Reject the power of the gods or grants party chance to reflect punishment and condemnation attacks. Or revelation. Why can't I use revelation? That's weird. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. So revelation is the one that frightens Kith targets on critical hit. But you don't lose that if you purchase this, right? That's what it seems. Okay. I'll look at this more later. Up in that section. Oh. I found Lord. I found Lord Admiral Hip. You're welcome. Why, thank you. Thank you so much, Threed. I really appreciate you. All right. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Watcher.
Something I can do.
Avast, ground filth. Why disturb Lord Admiral, eh?
Nim glances left and right with evident anxiety.
Not doing anything wrong. Go away.
Zorops, flanking the Ip, chitter to themselves and glance around the district. You wouldn't be trying to steal a boat, would you?
Boat? Lord Admiral has fleet. Blast filthy ground stink city. Start with you, eh?
The pitch of the Imp's voice begins to turn heads.
Get him, cullies.
The Imp points at you and screeches at the top of its lungs. And ooh, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, let Eder handle all that. All of you. I see some. There we go. Excellent. That's a good start. Ooh, what was that? Ooh, distract. Uh-oh. You came all the way over there. You know what? Actually, let's go ahead. Can I? I don't have the paralyze option. Here. We'll give you the puppet master option. There we go. Dominated. Why? Oh. Excellent. What did mine just do? And why isn't the fight ended yet? What's the problem? Why? Oh, wait a minute. Is this guy? Oh, the Nekataka guard is still dominated. Ah, that's funny. Bam, 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 bam. Lord Admiral Ip is the best crewmate. Or is that the other one? No. It's the. I know the Ip you're talking about. I already recruited him. I got him. And I agree, he is awesome. Ooh. +3 burn armor rating, +10 all defenses against fire attacks. Being critically hit with a fire attack will cause interrupt and give a -10 will penalty for 30 seconds. Not cool. All right. One of these guys down. And you know what? Actually, I want to visit this store real quick. Because what I really want to do is get that shit. Did you see the trailer for Renfield the Vampire? Dude. Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Are you kidding me? This is I watched the long form of the trailer where it takes like 3 or 4 minutes before Nicolas Cage actually comes in. And even that part had me entertained. I'm like, this actually looks like something I might watch. But when Nicolas Cage came in, stop it. Stop it. It's a wrap. I'm absolutely going to watch that. Right. This thing cost $108,000. Where am I supposed to get that from? That's insane. I'm definitely going to sell that. Sell that. What's this? A grimoire. I haven't checked the grimoires yet. I don't feel comfortable selling oh, that's just fine. Yeah, I can sell that. These are these Slandered grimoires. I only need one of these. I need to check some of those though. Now that I think about it, right? The Slandered grimoire is probably basically the same. Exceptional blunderbuss, superb arquebus, exceptional arbalest. Bam bam. Dun 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 dun. What's this? The quarterstaff. Okay. Lance of the Midwood Stag. It's a pike, 2-handed. Nobody uses that. Might use that. Definitely going to use that. Nobody uses this. And nobody more than likely is going to use this. I really want to watch it, bro. It looks super good. Yeah. Definitely 3. I think we're all in the same boat. Junk is the best boat you could buy in the game. It shouldn't be cheap. I agree. I'm not saying it should be cheap. I'm just disappointed that I still can't buy it yet. Morningstar. Anybody need that? No, not really. And then I believe I need that for a quest, so I'm gonna hang on to it. What is this? Oh, right, that's that iridescent scale. I can get that to what's her name. Sell off that. Sell off the medium armor. Sell off. That's heavy armor. I need to see if old boy needs that. Heavy armor 1155, 1055. We'll go with that. Fine padded armor. No, I'm good on that. What is this? 9. No, I'm good on that. Good on that. Good on that. Good on this. Good on this. Good on this. Wait. What was that? Valiant plate armor. 9. Okay. Valiant breastplate. Fine mail. 9. What's this? Nope. Look at that. I'm getting close, y'all. I'm getting close. I swear Arkhamir asked for his robes back, so I'm going to hang on to that for now. Light armor, Kabbalah's Gambeson. Do I need this for anything? I don't think I do. I think I'll get rid of this. And don't need this for anything either. +1 intellect. Might use that. Might make use of that. No. Heart chime. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to give that to Palagina. Bounding boots. I got to check on that. I'm not sure. +2 all defenses when engaged. +2 diplomacy. Interesting. Okay, keep the rest of that. And then Whole bunch of pets that I probably wouldn't use. Oh, that's right. Some of this stuff over here I wouldn't use either, right? Like, yeah, that's done for. That's regular. I don't need these regular ones, right? Wouldn't use these either. I don't know if I need that. Valiant, I'll hang on that. Quick Spur colors, that's cool. Rafik Red Beard colors, that's cool too. Hole Breaker, I don't think I would use these, right? So we'll go ahead and sell that. 48,000, not quite, but we are much closer than I thought we were. Okay, and there's a bunch of unique stuff here that I don't feel comfortable selling yet. So, all right, we're almost there, boys. We're almost there. Now, let's go. Just remember, we live in the timeline without Nicolas Cage as Superman, so there's always hope. That everything looks super familiar, but I'm not sure I've seen it before. Stefan, what's going on? How are you? North exit. Okay. We've been to Pariki's Outlook. We did everything we wanted to do here. The Gullet. We do not need anything from the Gullet either. Brass Citadel. I don't think we need anything for the Brass Citadel. We do need something from the Serpent's Crown, though. We should go back to Queen's Birth also and look at, did we have completely update that map guy's quest? I don't remember. But one thing at a time, let's do this. Don't know. He's playing Dragon that can fly. That counts, right? As Superman? Absolutely. Did that giant grub yesterday on hard. That was not fun. Nice. You're talking about those like ultimate creatures that they just added, right? Yeah, I've never faced those before. They should be interesting. Ooh, I should have went into stealth mode before I entered here. Oh well.
Nice and quiet.
Mercenary Swashbuckler. Mercenary.
For what do you enter my home uninvited?
Oh, that's her. Okay, cool.
This is my estate, not a beachside hut.
A pair holds your gaze as she begins to draw a weapon. I'm here for the bounty on your head. Let's be real about it.
You invite this information so freely. Is it your first time?
Gritting her teeth, she advances. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. No, he's not coming for us. That's not good. Her saying hogwash means that she feels like she can't get through. Oh, look at Allah doing his duty. And that's a wrap. Boom, boom, boom. And she's done for. Oh, that's already taken. Oh, that's already taken. I just want to check through real quick, see if there's anything that was added. And nope, seems like I already cleared out the place. Did that jump. But we keep Ezra Miller's crazy butt. Isn't that wild? How do they justify keeping Ezra Miller? Like, I'll be honest with you. I did not like Wonder Woman 2 at all. I felt like it was a very terrible movie. But I did feel like Wonder Woman... Is that lady... Is she something special?
So, you
oh.
A carving of exceptional... Exactly
lady, you'll be okay.
Ancient Huana tablet. Do you not understand?
Wanna.
Good luck with your disingenuous new friends.
You'll be all right, lady. I did feel like the first Wonder Woman was a big enough moment for DC where Gal Gadot and whoever the director was, they should have been given the opportunity to go ahead and finish their little trilogy. and be able to just complete that movie. The idea that you're going to give the two of them the boot, but keep Ezra Miller is insane to me. On top of also, of course, getting rid of Cavill is also clearly just as insane. But damn, what is the decision-making process going on here? Yeah, I'm shaking in anger right now. Man, easy. They hate money. I mean, kind of seems like it, doesn't it? Henry gives them money and they hate that. But the problem becomes, though, Ironclad Construct, devotee of Magrin. What's that about? Katrine. Okay, so hold on here. Symbols of death. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go from this side.
Hey.
And then you go here.
Bleeding me dry. All I needed was a few damn components.
The modern DCU fell off a cliff after BVS. Yeah. Wonder Woman 2, it was clearly a writing problem, not an actress problem. Exactly. And the director, it was definitely her fault. She made a terrible movie. But considering how big of a deal the first Wonder Woman was, you can arguably say the first Wonder Woman is the most successful film that came out of the entire DCEU. Like, there might have been some other films that were more commercially successful, but as far as the combination of commercially and critically successful, and as far as trying to make the DCEU seem legitimate, like, as far as I'm concerned, Marvel has still not made a legit film that had a woman at the head, period. Captain Marvel is not a great film. It just came right before Infinity War. That's the only reason it did well. Otherwise, it's just not all that great. Black Widow, disappointing. To wait all that time for a Black Widow film and that's all they came up with, it was just all right. But Wonder Woman was just a great movie. It was just a lot of fun to watch. So for her to make a movie that was that important for you all, and for you to then not allow her to finish out that trilogy, to basically say, like, you know what, you failed at one movie, so we're convinced you're trash, you get the boo, that's crazy to me, especially if you're going to keep Ezra Miller. If you're going to do a complete sweep, just a complete wipe of everything, including what Old Boy is created as well, then that's one thing. But for you to keep Ezra Miller and it at least seem like you're going to keep John Cena and the rest of the Suicide Squad, but then act like there's no place for everybody else. Wow. What are you doing here?
What? I haven't the time necessary to illuminate you. Be on your way.
Attack. Katrine, I assume? Say your farewells.
Oh, not this again. There's a dozen of you fools in every city.
Well, I'm so sorry, lady. Ooh. Oh, snap. This might be interesting. Or not. You're going down, lady. You're going down real easy. Ooh, but what about your constructs, though? Your construct. Ooh, I just saw a whole bunch of no penetrations. That's not good. Ooh, progress. There we go. And since there's only one target, yeah, I guess this makes sense. Or that. Hold on, let's damn it. I wanted to keep my infinite focus, but couldn't get there fast enough. Oh well. Oh, he's terrified. Uh-oh. But there's another one coming. Well, yep, my infinite focus is definitely going to come in handy. He's almost done for, so we'll do... Oh! For real, we shouldn't be doing anything with. This is not good. Well, that helped. All right, now you Did detonate actually work on you? Yes, it did. Okay. Eder, I need you to come here. You. There we go. Now, and Ecto Psychic is doing damage. That's excellent. Oh, that's right. Mind Blaze works well when it's just one. No, that's not gonna work out that well, actually. Oh, no. Where is? Why is he losing so much health? Where are you, bro? Oh, you're right here. You're not even that close, but you're close enough. Back up. As soon as you get this health, there you go. There you go. You should be. Oh, you've lost almost all your spells. That's the problem. Woo! Very unfortunate. What is Maya doing? Why is this? Oh, is that her little bird that's not doing anything? Are you serious? This whole time? What is going on? That's not good. Oh, now you're doing healing. Fine. No, that's not going to really help. Maya's really all up to you. There you go. That second one was no penetration, but that first one worked. Hit him again. Ooh, both of them were no penetration. Boom, boom. Ooh. Why isn't it able to penetrate? I wonder. Is he immune to the damage type? There we go. Because I thought I had her nice and leveled up. Maybe not. I need to check that now. Excellent.
Can do.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we were under level for that, but still made it through. And let's save before we get in here. This Cavill is probably the best Emperor or Guilliman we could ask for. Absolutely. Way too early to know if it'll be. This may come out, but I would be interested in a World of Darkness CRPG. I mean, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. Tuck Squishy, are we? My main character, yeah, I completely dumped Constitution because he's supposed to be in the back. So yeah, he goes down real easy. Yeah, losing almost all your spells in the middle of the fight. Probably not a good thing. Why I go Blood Maze. Pretty sure Pit is a weapon thing, not a level thing. That's what I mean. I'm saying I thought I leveled up that weapon high enough where it should be penetrating better. So I'm going to have to check that. A massive door looms before you. The edges are sealed so tight not a breath of air escapes them. Religious runes sprawl the length, carved deeply into pitted stone. But again, those guys were way higher level than what I was supposed to be facing. So it's probably just that I don't have the materials to level up my weapons high enough to be able to penetrate those type of enemies. You recognize the runes as Memento Mori, depicting the inevitability of death and the immortality of the soul. Because I'm from the Deadfire archipelago. Gibberish, don't even bother. Maya shakes her head, frowning. The door shudders and groans at your approach. Inspect the door. And she can inspect it. An elaborate etching spans the stone's width, carved faintly beneath several runes. It depicts a small crowd praying to a pair of giant eels that have coiled above a large door. An Amur priest holds a disc near to the door's face. A religious artifact, blessed by Bareth, is likely necessary to open this entryway. Hold the eel's coil up to the door. As the eel coils near the door, the stone-carved circlet rattles in your hand. Wisp of your soul essence encircle the coil, then reach outward. The tendrils curl toward the door, touching it, soaking it in a purple glow. A murmur, like Bareth's own welcome, whispers up from under your feet. The door begins to slide open, grinding down into the ground. As a death god like priest of Barat, your actions here are just fantastic. Is that right? That's something to keep in mind. Let me make sure that I'm actually considered. So I'm considered slightly underleveled for this. Actually. And you know what? That's enough for me to say I will wait. We have the door open. I will come back at a later time. Why am I all the way over here? What's the problem? Is there anything else I needed to... So let me look here. Turns of trade. Whoops. Let me check. A distant light, right? Befriending death flow. Bounty. Whoa. Oh, return. Oh, okay. I actually need to go to the crown. Okay. I didn't realize that. Turn in one of my bounties. Serpent's crown. Upper floor. The God Emperor of Geekdom Con. I mean, we'll see. I personally, I still remember that Dwayne Johnson hedged all his bets on, hey, if I get...
You're giving Ishi a weird look. What did he do?
I'm not giving him a weird look. He's giving me a weird look.
Dwayne Johnson hedged all his bets on, hey, if I get Henry Cavill involved in my Black Adam movie, surely all the people who love him so much as Superman will flock and support it and show that, hey, finally DC is doing what we want them to do, and that did not happen. So as much as people online talk about Henry Cavill and claim to love him and claim to support him so much, I think it's actually questionable how much of that support actually turns into monetary support, which is part of the reason why DCU was so willing to give him the boot. I've dealt with Decilia.
With joy, not hunger, does the great eel lash its mighty tail. Dechila has sated the beast for now.
Barati passes you a pouch of coins and claps your hand hard. Yeah, Dagon, I think I was reading, what was it, a Major Kill video where he was talking about the things he feels like the Warhammer show need to do in order to succeed. And I believe one of the things he said was, don't make it about Space Marines. Like, that's just not going to work. What balance do you have available?
The jaws of Tangaloa gnash about a Rawatine captain named Ohiro.
Barati folds his arms and closes his eyes, exhaling sharply.
His cannon fire echoes in the ears of slumbering gods. The beast cries out for a more restful Deadfire.
I'll take the bounty.
Akira, you chose wisely. Ohiro sails the junk Stone Anchor, south of the Kua Orikuhu island chain due east of Nikitaka. The gods will thank you for quieter seas.
Barati inclines his head and touches his brow. Farewell. Yeah, DC sure showed those fans. I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see whether or not this clean slate actually works. Because if it doesn't, man, I mean, I don't know why his name escapes me. The guy they put in charge of it, he's losing nothing. Even if this completely fails, it doesn't mean he'll stop getting director roles. It just means people won't put him in charge of a whole universe. And let's be honest, this might be the only situation where he would be put in charge of a whole universe. So he loses absolutely nothing from this. But DCU, come on now, they're riding a whole lot. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to deliver the stuff to Mad Morena. Okay. You have to support us. So go to Mad Morena. And then Spire of the Soul Seers, right then. Prospects. Oh, at the Wild Mare. Oh, that's right. I needed to speak with her at the Wild Mare. Forgot about that. He suggests I begin with the 2 uncharted islands to the north and south of Portage. Okay. Sorcerer and a Gentleman. Right, okay. Eulogy for the Dead, the Painted Mask. Oh, crap. I forgot to do that freaking quest. Return necessary. Return necessary. Was last seen traveling in the wilderness of Crookspur Island. Oh, there's someone in Litter's refuge in Dunnage. Okay, so... Oh, but he was way, way above my level. Okay, fine. So I need to go back to the Radiant Court at some point anyway. But for now... Okay, we got two of them. We got Queen's Birth, and where's the other one? Bracelet, Gullet. There was one other one. God dog it. What was it good? Oh, Mad Morena. She's in the Undercroft. There we go. This is why I'm liking the Road Trader story so far. Not a Space Marine in sight. Yeah, if they are in there, they're waiting a long time to introduce them. Would need to be all CGI. You will start with the base human. You build up the Space Marines. It ruins the scope if you just start with the Marinas. Yeah, with the Marines. It's got to be way later. Yep, that's why I say that's something that people should be looking forward to. Not kicking it off right off the jump. Will it let me go straight to Marina? Let's find out. She's at Narrows, right? Yep. What? What is the problem? Why didn't it let me turn around? I don't remember how to get there. Are you kidding me? Turn around. Go left. Go forward. Curtain behind the merchant stall. Fine, we'll get in through Devil's Row. Whatever. It is what it is. How do I get in? Is it? There we go. They still let that body there, huh? Oh, what's in here? Ooh, I never saw that. Undercroft, okay. Let's go see the boss. And then this guy. I'm here on behalf of Captain Aldace.
If you've come to see Mad Morena, God shield your soul.
He swipes the cutlass to point at the squat fort along the eastern lip of the cavern. Oh, he doesn't escort you there anymore? Whatever. Fine. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Henry Cavill hired Johnny Depp as a nephew to WB at Disney? What? That would be interesting. The same with someone who knows the world and wants to tell a real story. The Marines will come later. An executive. Put a Marine in the first 10 seconds or you're fired. Move in them much less do what a Space Marine should do. Be a lot of mocap CGI and mixing. Very physically demanding. Right, because they're supposed to be way bigger than everybody else, right?
You may just be my new favorite sea wolf.
She runs her tongue over her teeth, eyes roving your face.
Well, regale me.
I've got the luminous Audra.
I invite you to hand it over swiftly then.
The captain's expression brightens, lit with her greed.
Ah, what lovelies. Aye, fine work you've done. Work I won't be likely to forget. And neither will Captain Aldi's. Best believe I'll be sending her a missive to sing of your praises.
Leave. I'll be on my way. Oh, I really want to know what's in there.
Let's take a look. I'll take care of this.
Oh, nothing all that special. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Okay. Now we need to head back to Queensburg. Hold on, I never went in there?
I'll have this open in no time. It's done.
You're not alone.
Whoa. That's why I avoided doing that. God dog it. Uh-oh. Who's in front right now? It's not me, right? Oh, okay, cool. It's not me. Wow. This wasn't my best idea, but hey. It's fine. Bigger, it can literally just run through you. Think you could have a glimpse of a space marine, but it needs to be an establishing shot, not an action set piece. When you see the aftermath of a marine attack. Interesting. Hey, look at that. Okay. Worth it. As long as they don't attack me. Nope, they're all good. They care less. And Devil's Row. I like my Space Marines the way Chris writes them, like a force of nature. The bigger part is easily enough solved. It involves perspective, trickery with props, surroundings, and cameras. Agreed. I don't understand the lore enough to recognize why the Space Marines have to be treated with such care. Go to, what am I going to? The Gullet. But I'll take you all's word for it, and I'm sure it'll become more obvious as I delve more into the lore. I'm kind of letting Owlcat pace how I do these lore videos. So, like, right at the end of the year, they came out with that update about the Drukhari and pretty much confirming that they'll be in the game. So I'm like, okay, I'll do a video about the Drukhari and make sure people understand why they're important, stuff like that. So I feel like that'll help me pace it out, and also help me be able to clearly tie lines and show why certain parts of the Warhammer lore are going to play a part in the game. Really, though, if Cavill has his way and something's going to be in it, it's going to be Custodes and those guys. Man, who are the Custodes? Space Marines are enormous, wear 1-ton armor, and have way above superhuman abilities. Their thinking is different. Is a Space Wolf and a Space Marine basically the same thing? It's writing a Hulk story or a Superman story, and like one guy shows up with a gun to stop him. That'll feel weak. You need bigger stuff. Got you. Okay. There's more of using him as a very impressive and deific character, and then focus mostly on the people who have to report to him. Are far above Marines, as Marines are above people. Interesting. I didn't realize I had to go back to this chick. Wait a minute. I didn't.
Better part of valor.
Oh, because it's surrounded by people. I don't care about that one either. Anyway, don't particularly care about that either. So it's just random stuff. Cool.
Don't you have a temple to find?
I found Oswald.
And? Where is he? Did you get my money?
Funny thing, but Oswald's flat broke. Not a copper to his name.
That twisty old pig licker. I should have known.
Khan slams her fist on the table. The utensils jump. She looks away quickly, tears just budding on her eyelashes, and dashes them away with a shuddering sigh. After the brief storm of emotion has passed, she steadies herself and turns hard eyes on you.
Gods, but I'm dead tired of this wretched archipelago.
She exhales a deep sigh.
So, if you don't mind, I'll be taking my leave. May Wild's legion of creepy eyes watch your back and all that.
Khan gives you a curt nod and finishes the remainder of her drink with a gulp. She hustles out the tavern without so much as a wave goodbye. I didn't like that. It seems like she was really, really hurt to lose that money. So let's Let's go ahead and just give it to her. Space Wolf is a type of Marine. There's a bunch of different chapters. They have different tendencies, but all Marines. So, are Marines then very loyal to the Emperor? Or can Marines be corrupted? Because I remember you all saying, like, Battle Sisters are virtually uncorruptible. Like, it wouldn't make sense that I'd be able to get a Battle Sister to side with Chaos. But could you get a Space Wolf to side with Chaos?
Don't you have a temp hand? Where
Give
is
2,000
he?
copper. Lie. I've got it all right here.
So you do.
Shody didn't like that, but that's all right. Shody's easy to please. A small smile tugs at the corners of her lips.
It wasn't what I was hoping for, but I suppose that'll have to do.
Khan gives you a broad, charmingly buck-tooth smile and leaves, turning to give you a little wave before disappearing out the door. Aww. All right, and hey, look at that. Most of us got a level up out of that. Okay. With all that being done, oh, you know what? Before I forget, let's look at what is she? Oh, so she's just exceptional. We haven't done any of those. So what about superb? Can we do that? So she doesn't have, not good enough for legendary, but we could do superb. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now she's got double barrel, fires 2 shots before reloading, but has reduced range. We could do double tap, which still has double barrel. Okay, double tap. Destroy lower level vessels on second consecutive hit. Twin slugs. Knock back target within 4 meters upon scoring a hit. That's interesting. Now, so no rest for the wicked. 1% damage dealt and received on kill until rest. Unburdened soul. 1% damage dealt on kill until rest. Guilty conscience. 2% damage dealt and received on kill. We're going to go with unburdened soul and enchant that. Will prevent you from adding guilty conscience. Yes, I'm good with that. And let's see, double tap or knockback. I like double tap actually, so we'll go with that. Does this Durgan live with iron? Yeah, that Durgan steel. Awesome. All right, and now we're just waiting on legendary. Okay. Even though now I'm down to 40,000, that's all right. It still feels like a good investment. This is an exceptional saber. You know what would it take to get it up to superb? 12,000. 2% crit chance on hit, stacks plus 50 times and resets upon a crit. Oh wow! So it really helps him get a crit. Random affliction for 10 seconds to target on crit. Plus 15% crit damage. I'll take that. And then superb. 12,000. Yeah, I'll take that too. Fine. All right. Oh, and his shield is just exceptional. Wow. Oh, did we sell that other shield? We sure did. Oh, well, I guess we really are sticking with that one. This one then. I could go exception on this, but I'm not even worried about it. Greater fire shield. The widow gains increased, and the retaliation attacks deals additional damage. Or enemies damaged by the retaliation attack have the duration of their beneficial effects reduced. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then 10% of damage dealt as burn. 20% chance to interrupt with attacks from Margaret's Blessing on hit. I think this is better. Everybody's not vulnerable to fire, and interrupting enemies is always useful. So, yep, we'll go with that. And then I like, you know, I like Greater Fire Shield, actually. Even though Purifying Flame is probably better against bosses, but I just like Greater Fire Shield more because I feel like there's going to be more times when this will be useful. Now, we can also +6 deflection. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I'm almost out of money, but it was still it feels like it was worth it. It feels like, good Lord. Oh, we're almost there. I was about to say, you know, talk to you.
What do you want?
Who were you before you were put in this sword? Very good choice. There's your lorddom. If any Space Marine chapter had to come into our world and put an end to all war, I think I prefer it to be a chapter like the Salamanders. Sure that the Green Knights would end up deciding that the end of revealing them is too much of a hassle to exterminate us. It's just simpler. Who were you before? Who were you before you were put in this sword?
None of your god's damn business.
So, metaphysics plus what? Arcana. Animats rarely retain their consciousness, let alone their emotions. You're different.
Nice of you to notice.
You hear what can only be a sneer edge, Mordor's voice.
I was a ruler beyond compare. Handsome, just, exceedingly well-muscled, beloved of my subjects and favored by Wodaka.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Excuse me? Sarcasm's my thing. Go find your own bit.
Though the sword tries to maintain a serious tone, a slight laugh follows its words.
In truth, I don't know who I was. So far as I can remember, I've always been a sword. Whatever memories I had of a time before, they're gone.
Who was your owner?
A much better swordswoman than you, to start.
Insight and diplomacy. There has to be more to her than that. How's she come by those skills?
Killing troublesome animancers, mostly.
Behind Mordra's words curl a cat's mischievous smile.
She was an agent of Dunnard Row. At
Hmm.
least for a while. Her name is Ingfrith.
Interesting. Farewell.
Ugh, finally.
How you and the Watchers sleep, carrying all those souls around.
Some nights it's the lantern that lulls me to sleep. It pulses like a heart in my hand.
If you find that comforting, then I'm glad for you.
All right. Time to get up out of here. I think it is finally time to move forward in the main story. Been a while since we did that, right? By sea. Okay. So as I recall, wait, first of all, who are you? Oh yeah, you're the guy I shouldn't mess with. Distant light. Sail to Hasango. Hasango. Hey, look at that. Oh, it's not even that far. Let's save just in case this goes poorly. We're home. We're on the way home.
Atsura asked me to train a crop of new sailors.
Maya surveys the wreckage of Hasango, betraying no clear emotion.
Guess the sharpshooting lesson was wasted. Should have spent that time talking about home.
I'm sorry, Maya. We'll do whatever we can to avenge them. Nodding, Maya strikes a salute to the ruins of Hasango. She holds that position for a lingering moment, then stands at ease with a sigh. All right. Save here. And it's been almost 3.5 hours. I think that's enough for one day. But as always, I do appreciate you all, and I hope you all also enjoyed the stream and appreciated the time. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream tomorrow night. I might. But if not, I will definitely be back Wednesday evening. It was a pleasure. I think we had a wide range of conversations this time. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next stream. Take care. Night, Princess. Take care. Take care, Boss Page. Glad you're able to make it, man. You too, Dagon. Take care, Anton. Perfect timing, Benjamin. Hey, take care, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. We'll make it through.